This is Primetime with Isaac and Suk on 1080 The Fan.
Hey, what it do?
Hey!
What up?
Happy Friday.
What up, bro? Happy
For
Friday
like
to you.
Tuesday.
Yeah, it feels like a Tuesday.
Yeah, no, Friday, man.
What a great feeling it's when, it's like my second day of work this week,
But then you're done.
and now it's over.
It's a magical feeling.
By the way, I'm out Monday. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be here.
It's like when you wake up and you realize you have like an hour, like you wake up an hour before you need to wake up. It's amazing. You're like, oh my God, I got to get up. No, I don't. You roll back over.
Oh.
Love that feeling.
See, I like getting up an hour early so that I can get up
Oh.
and have coffee.
No.
Like, I love that time in the morning where
Well,
it's just
yeah.
nothing going on. And
Yeah, but if you wake up and you're like, ugh, and you think that you have to get up, and then you realize you don't, that you can choose to get up, you can choose to mill around, you can choose to roll back. That is much better than waking up or having the alarm go off at the designated time that you're supposed to be up.
I agree.
It's like you just stole an extra hour.
Yeah.
Like of your
There's
day.
nothing like hitting snooze.
Oh, it's an amazing feeling.
Although snooze, well, okay, now I'm going to sound dumb, but what's new?
Yeah, let's go.
Snooze, can you set the snooze to be longer than 10 minutes?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
I'm
I
assuming
should do
that
that.
everyone's using their phone now. Does anyone actually have an alarm clock?
Well, I mean the olds.
Even though, I mean, we're olds. Do you have an alarm clock? Anybody?
No.
I used to about 6 months ago, just so I had something at the side of my bed that I didn't have to pick up to see the time,
Yeah.
like my phone. But I don't anymore.
No, I mean,
No,
who
just
has
use your phone.
who has an alarm clock?
Do you have any other clocks in the house that aren't on
That are-
an appliance or an
No.
iPhone?
I have a big decorative clock that doesn't work.
Oh, you have giant,
I have a giant like wall clock. That's a big
Oh.
metal wall clock.
like mom clock.
Yeah, but it's like modern. It's more an art thing, and the battery on it died like a year or two ago, and I haven't touched it. It's just
Well, did you really put it up to tell time, or did you
No.
put it up because you thought it was cool?
It
and
looks. I thought it
filled the
looked.
space?
I thought it looked cool, and it filled
Yeah.
the space.
So you don't need it to work.
No, so it just sits there. So the only clock in my house outside of on an appliance doesn't work.
God, can you remember the days before iPhones when we had to have clocks and
Yeah,
watches
Yeah.
and
Hey,
alarm clocks?
Get this too. Not only am I clockless, I'm now keyless.
Yeah,
I don't own a single key. We put a thumbprint one on the front door,
yeah, you did.
and that was my last key.
I'm gonna hack the S out of that.
Good luck. I'm not giving you the code.
Well, it's thumbprint thing.
How are you gonna do that? You gonna steal my thumb?
Maybe.
Yeah. That's like a Mission Impossible thing. Yeah, and now, because I've long stated that I am not a door locker, and that drives everyone crazy.
Yeah.
It locks itself.
Right. So,
So-
you don't. So it's foolproof.
Foolproof. Every you shut it, and like 15 seconds later, it locks. So yeah, I do not have a single.
You don't have backup keys.
No, I don't have a single key.
I don't think I have many keys either.
I just have a fob for my car.
Yeah.
Is that a key?
I don't think so.
'Cause
I
it's
don't
just-
think that counts.
Yeah, there's no key.
But
I-
there is a key in it, right? Like the thing. Like,
Yeah, I think there's one that you can hide in.
pull it-
You
You
pull it
pull
out.
it out of there.
If something were to go wrong. Yeah, that's the emergency thing. But yeah, I don't have a single key.
Here's
got-
a guy who says he's got an alarm clock because he hates the phone in the bedroom.
Oh, you one of those type that leave your phone downstairs?
Well, not me, but
No,
him.
but that part. Yeah, I do know
Yeah.
those people. It's the same people that don't want TV in their room. They think it's like,
Well, that's what they say.
yeah,
You're supposed to turn all that stuff off about an hour before you go to bed.
yeah, it's right out.
Pitch black in there.
Yeah,
You know?
nighttime's fun for scrolling and whatnot. Some late night shopping.
Everybody complains, oh, I don't get any sleep. Well, it might be because you have your TV on, your phone on.
Well, it is weird if you're laying down trying to shut down your brain and you have something that has every piece of information the world has ever known or sitting right beside you.
It's not a good combo.
Oh God, how many times the amount of times I've fallen down a YouTube rabbit hole. I want to say like a week ago, I ended up watching Van Halen videos for like an hour and a half.
Well, in addition to making kind of the wheels turn because you're looking stuff up, there are all these studies out there about like seeing like the blue light
Yeah.
right before like
That's
bed
right.
that your brain's not actually going to be able to shut down until about 20 minutes after you've stopped looking at
That's
the, at
right.
the
That's what the
screen.
drugs are for. Like last night, I bought bike pedals, $12.45. I don't know why I was shopping for bike pedals
That's weird.
at 12:30 in the morning, but I was
Do you know how long I had been asleep?
at 12:40.
Yeah.
Yes.
Guess.
I'll go 2 hours.
4 hours.
4 hours.
I fell asleep at 8:45 last night.
Well, guess who's missing out on a sweet pair of orange bike pedals?
I think
You.
I think I'll be fine. Although it is National Bicycle Day,
Is it really?
so
Hey,
shout out to all you bikes out there.
let's go. Pedal. I'm excited about my new pedals, though. I make a lot of impulse purchases around the witching hour. Between 12 and 12:30 is prime. What the hell? I'll buy that. Yeah.
Well, between you and my wife,
Mhm.
Amazon's doing just fine.
Oh, it's not me. There is...
Dude, my wife gets a package a
Yes.
day.
The BTJ is the same.
and
way.
sometimes more.
Oh, God.
I don't even know what it could possibly be.
I used to open and look, and then at some
So you
point...
open her packages?
Well, yeah, because they have my name on them. Because
Oh.
the Amazon account is my name. So they just show up, and I just got to the point where I'm like, I don't want to know. I pulled the summer school. I don't want to know what this is, do I? And she's like, no, probably not. And so I don't even pick them up anymore. I go to the front because she works. She leaves in the morning. So I literally just open the front door and I take my foot and I just yeet it into the front door. And then I'm like, that's someone else's problem.
Yeah, I would never dare open her stuff.
No?
No, that's not for me to open. But I do always wonder, what now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And oftentimes, this is why I stopped opening, because I would question the purchase. And in no uncertain terms, I was told to shut up.
That's right.
And
that's the appropriate response.
Yeah, don't
It's
worry
none
about
of your
it.
business.
It's none of my business.
Shut up.
Because, and then after a while, I was like, well, if it's none of my business, then just don't open the packages. So unless I ordered something that I know is coming, like, tomorrow I will open up if something comes because I believe that's mine. And this does happen sometimes where I think the package coming tomorrow will be my bike pedals. There's a good chance there's 3 other packages coming as well. And I'll open
You have
one.
to pick one.
Yeah, and then I'll get this. Why did you open? Because I thought it was mine. And then she'll call me a dumbass, and we'll move on with our day.
Well, it sounds like a great working relationship.
I'd like to think so. Yeah, it
It's like
works.
things are going great. You're like the Porters.
Yes.
Michael Porter.
Things are going great.
His brother just got kicked out of the NBA. And now comes word that his other brother just got locked up for 6 years.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
It's a bit rough over there.
What
at
is
the
going
house.
on at the Porter household?
You think everyone's having to ask him for some loans? I guess. Well, when you're in prison, maybe that's a smaller loan.
So I forget this kid's name. I think
Buy
it's like
cigarettes. Well, I remember when they were coming out of school, there was the whole thing.
Coben.
Yeah, that the you had to take the other 2 Porter brothers to get the good Porter. Well, you had to take the dad and the 2 brothers to get Michael Porter.
Isn't there more than 2 brothers though?
I
Or,
thought
mean 3.
I think there was a sister maybe as well.
There's
but
2.
I thought there was just the 3 brothers.
I feel like there are 9 Porter kids.
It's possible.
But can you
No.
look that up?
Yeah, I'll look it up. Oh yeah, there's
Maybe 7. There's 4 boys and 3 girls maybe.
so there's Michael Porter, and then there's 4 brothers. There's John Tay,
Yeah.
who's
He just got
booted.
kicked out of the NBA.
There's Coben, who's going to prison.
Yeah.
and then
he
there's
killed someone in a drunk driving accident.
yeah, and then there's Javon.
Who's that?
What's
he done?
It does say American basketball player. I think he's playing he either played or is playing at Pepperdine.
All right.
And then Isaac.
Isachi?
Oh no. It's Isaac. Izaak. Isaac?
That's probably Isaac.
Are they just going with Isaac with
I would imagine
with a
that's-
fun way to spell it?
Yeah. So there's 5?
And I think he might be in high school still. Yeah,
Man.
he's still in school.
How many girls? I think there's 3 girls.
Now I gotta look up. You're asking me to do a whole lot of Googling.
If there's not 3 girls, I think there's twin girls. So anyway,
And does the flunky dad still have? Oh yeah, there's 3 girls.
there are 3, and
There's 3.
a pair of them are twins, maybe.
Is the dad still have a job?
Dude, I don't know, man.
'Cause
But
he got
I
that
just,
job at like what, Missouri? Because of Michael went there.
yeah, he did go to Missouri, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, there's your explanation right there.
Yeah, problem solved.
They were fine until they got to Missouri.
Yeah, he's got the sisters all play too. It's a big basketball family.
No way.
Yeah. So there's Bree Porter and I don't know. There's a lot of Porters.
All right. Well, anyway,
2 of them aren't doing so well. Hey,
nice to have you along.
Bree's kind of a hot.
It's Friday, I think.
It is Friday.
Today we have Joey Harrington returning to our broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you guys talked about last week.
I think we talked about you.
Why?
Well, you were gone at the Masters.
Oh.
So we talked about you a little bit, and then I asked him about winning quarterbacks.
Well, he is. He's got some shoes that he's bringing to the table today.
He's got shoesies.
Yeah, he's raffling off shoes.
Is it the first ever Asace shoe launch?
Exclusive shoes? No, these are Nikes.
Oh, you're not getting into the shoe game just yet?
Not yet. I'm still working on our.
Well, one of them we're auctioning these off for the Harrington.
He's raffling them.
Yes, yeah, raffling for the
There's a
Harrington
difference.
family. Yeah, auction is highest bidder. This is just a raffle ticket. So he's raffling off 2 pairs. And I'll have you know, one of them is like exclusive, just made by Tinker Hatfield for this. But the other one is an off-white sneaker, which is a collaboration with a French designer.
Whoa.
Mhm.
Isachi.
So,
Well, I'm not French, but
well, I'm just saying, if Nike and Jordan and the Harrington Foundation can do with one designer,
no, that's right.
where's the Asace Harrington family Jordans?
Look, once I rebranded myself
Yeah.
to Isachi,
Isachi.
simply because my name was misspelled on the YouTube stream.
Yeah.
ISSACE. Once that happened, Jason, you would not believe my email inbox. I'm still getting back to everyone.
Just
all the opportunities
Yeah.
and all the different. So perhaps they've already emailed me. I don't know. I'll get back to them,
well,
and then we can negotiate.
Well, all you have to do, like with the off-white, is you change like 2 things on an existing Nike Jordan sneaker, and then you sell it for a bunch of money.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And then you put like a weird little orange plastic tag on it, and then everyone loses their S over it.
Okay. Well, Joey will be on at 5:30. We'll talk to him about that, how you can get your hands on those sexy sneaks, and then we're going to talk a little Augusta National Golf Club. In the meantime, we sports hard. Jim Harbaugh is living in an RV. I don't know if you know that.
Well, of course he is.
And it's great.
I'm guessing it's a nice RV.
It's actually not
No?
that nice. Greg Roman, his offensive coordinator, way nicer RV.
Dude,
like,
I
that
saw-
one. Did you
saw
see the
send-
Roman?
Well, I saw you send me that, and I thought that Greg Roman, looking at him, I thought he was like just another Joe in the RV park. I did not realize he was a coach until he introduced him as Greg Roman. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
But Greg Roman was the OC of
I
your
know. I'm
Niner.
just saying he looks like I don't know. He looks like.
Are you saying he got fat? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying he's aged a little bit, and he looks like an RV dad bro, and not a
for
football.
sure.
You know.
I just assumed if you're talking about a Jim Harbaugh RV or a Greg Roman RV for that, I was thinking like one of these motor coaches. Dude, some of those things are ridiculous, but you're saying his is not.
Harbaugh's is not. He's had it for a long time.
It's sufficient.
It's
in
fine.
very Harbaugh fashion. It's
Yeah.
it's a khakis of RV.
He makes like
It's
16
just-
mil a year.
I
Yeah,
know.
but he does.
He still does sensible things.
Yeah, he's very sensible.
Boy, that's fascinating.
It is
You
fascinating.
would think if you make 16 million a year and you're gonna live in an RV,
Well,
you-
he said.
you think it'd be a kick-ass motor coach.
We'll play the audio, but he said, because the Chargers put that on their Twitter account.
Yeah.
Harbaugh said at his press conference when he was introduced as the Chargers coach, he said, "I want to drive my RV to California."
Mhm.
And his wife didn't want him to do that, so he was asking her in the press conference. It was this funny moment where she was like, "Oh my God, don't do that." Well, he did do that, and I think he's packed it up now because the family got there and they're moving into their house.
Okay.
But while he was waiting for his family, he was living. Jim Harbaugh is living out of his RV in Huntington Beach, and Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, waiting for his family as well, drove his down as well, and it is 15 times more badass than Jim's.
Yeah, because I saw the photo of them two sitting out in
Yeah.
front of the RV park, which is it's a hell of a time when you walk out of an RV park and you're like,
and there's
hey,
Harbaugh.
is that Jim
Although
Harbaugh?
there was a lady next to them that, and they show this on the bit that the Chargers do on it. She's like, "Hey, hi guys, I see the Chargers flag. Are you with the Chargers?" And Jim's like, "Yeah, I coach out there."
She asked, "Are you players?" And he goes, "Well, I coach with the team."
Yeah, and she's like, "Okay, thanks, bye." I mean, oh my God.
Well, I read McConaughey's book, which
Thank
is a
you,
good book,
bye.
by the way. I highly recommend it. It's called Green Lights. And he spent like a year. He was kind of needed to get off the grid. He spent a year driving around in his Airstream and just parked it in different car parks and whatnot. And he's got a lot of interesting stories about, being Matthew McConaughey and just roaming around these places and people being like, is that Matthew McConaughey? He's like, yeah, just staying at different RV parks.
So we got a lot of hot sports talk for you. We're going to start with our poll question. It is coming up next on The Fan.
The draft
All right, coming up, we're going to get into some NFL draft stuff. I have finally put together my mock draft.
I've been waiting.
All 7 rounds on that bad boy?
Yeah, all 7 rounds. This is version 89.2.
Well, I do see right now on the screen, 6 days away. We got a countdown.
We have to count down because it's not big unless there's a countdown clock.
Gotta have a countdown.
So we're going to get into a little bit of that coming up. Also, who should make more money, Ryan Buckley or Caitlin Clark? So we're going to, it's a very important question.
I do love that everyone's, dragging that. Meanwhile, she just signed an 8-figure deal with Nike.
20 mil.
She's doing fine.
If I could get in that neighborhood, that'd be nice.
It's pretty ridiculous. I mean, $76,000, man.
You realize that league has never made
I know.
penny.
That is super low.
Well, it's not.
It is.
Okay.
Girl, you something else.
I have this. People get so mad at me because I talked about this while you were gone. And of course, I'm a sexist pig.
Yeah, well, we know that.
Even though I support women's sports and go to them all the time.
What?
But what sort of insanity is it? Just follow me on this. When your company makes no money, zero, every year for 20 plus years, no dollars. They're in the negative every year. And the only reason they exist is because another company gives them money. And then you go and you say, well, we understand that we lose money, but you know what? We feel like everyone should make more money. Like, that's insanity. I understand it's low, but no other company on earth, except for maybe something that run by the federal government, would ever do that. Like, someone was like, well, I understand they don't make any money, but everyone should have a minimum salary of $150,000. So you want a company bleeding money to then double everyone's salary. Like, go to any company losing money for, I don't know, 1 year, let alone 20, and be like, hey, I got a grand idea. Even though we're still losing money, we're losing less money. We would like everyone to get 100% pay raise.
Well, look, last I checked, Lyft wasn't profitable, and yet that guy's probably raking in billions or millions.
I'll tell you what, no one's raking in billions on the WNBA. It's getting better.
No, but look, her at 76, like she is the best thing to come along for that league in a long time. And $76,000 is just, look, it's like,
well, good thing she gets $20 million from Nike.
Yeah, that is a good thing because that's more commiserate to what she brings to the table right there. Well, it is. I mean, dude, she's like, she's a sensation.
To Sue's point, if she or they brought more to the table, there'd be more to pay her with. They're not bringing that to the table.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, that's a whole topic. But there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. I'm not saying the WNBA is amazing, but
and we can agree a superstar like her should make more money. But if there's no, if that money doesn't exist for them to pay her with, then
no, I get it. I feel like there should be more NBA WNBA synergy, like with brands and teams and such. Like I know the NBA owns half of the WNBA, not all of it. They own 50% of it, and it's always kind of weird to me where they've really backed that league, the WNBA. They being the NBA has always backed the WNBA.
Yes,
I find it odd that they don't prop it up more. Like they just kind of let it hang out there. It's like if you had a little bit more synergy with your teams and brands, like one of the reasons Caitlin Clark was so popular is because in college ball, our connection to the college brands and teams is so strong that helps prop up college basketball as a sport.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
If we didn't have that, Caitlin Clark isn't nearly as big because, South Carolina is a big deal to all their fans. Like every college basketball team is a big deal to their specific fans. Mm-hmm. WNBA, I mean, they just don't have that kind of brand pull, right? Yeah. So I don't understand why the NBA doesn't sort of have, like I said, more synergy, I think is the right word, with the brands of the WNBA. In other words, connect them. Because the NBA brands are very popular.
Well, there's been need or desire to ever do it until recently when there actually is some traction. And I'm hoping.
Well, but no, they could have done it before.
But why would
because
they?
because they own half of it. Like
And it
if
bleeds
they want
money.
Well, I know, but if they want to make more money, you have to invest in it, right? It's just like anything else. Like it's not to say that it's going to be like this grandiose, profitable league. Far from it. I mean, although it could be. It's just that it sort of seems like they want it. And they want to, and they own half of it, but they also don't really do anything with it. They just let it do its thing.
Again, I'll be the a-hole here, and sure enough, people,
You certainly are.
People are already chiming in with the "Will you shut up?" and you don't know what you're talking about. I love those. So what you're saying is a company that has lost millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. You now want them to just dump more money. Like again,
I don't know about dumping money.
It's insanity. The argument behind this.
Well,
it really is.
To me, it's not. It's not
to just lose more money.
It's not dumping money. Well, you're trying to make money
by
something
losing more money,
which is something. Well, you have to invest. I mean,
and
if you want something to grow,
they have for 20 years,
right? But what I'm saying is they haven't done a very good job of that, and that's not to say that they have to dump hundreds of millions of dollars into it. Of course not. I mean, I think the NBA makes like $10 billion or something, and the WNBA is like, I just looked it up. You were talking about how they weren't profitable. Their revenue was $60 million. I mean, it's very small.
That's revenue, and that's
yes, I get it, but it's just I'm just saying if you want more, you have to put in more, and there is. I mean, Caitlin Clark is bringing along some eyeballs.
Yes,
like capitalize on that. And I'm not saying you had to dump everything into it for the last 20 years, but I just feel like there are ways, very easy ways, less costly ways, not that many costly ways, to have synergy with the NBA and sort of help, and so have the brands of the NBA help the WNBA along.
Again, I'll be the a-hole here. The WNBA has existed for 20 years because of the NBA for largely, I believe, two things. One, a tax write-off, and two, it's a PR political will thing. Just is. It's a feel-good story because women in this country and athletics all over the world have been shortchanged for years and years and years. And it wasn't done because they thought it was going to be a profitable business. Far from it. And that's why it pissed women off all the time, is because it felt like it was a half-assed effort, and probably in some ways it was, but it did get their foot in the door. But all of them have had to go overseas to go play and make money. You can make $1 million a year playing over in Russia, except now the Brittany Griner thing, that kind of went to pot. But now finally, after 20 years, it does feel like there's some actual traction. And hopefully soon, fingers crossed, but because of the Diana Taurasi's and the Cheryl Swoopses and the Cynthia Coopers and everyone standing on their shoulders, and now here comes Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and we got Brink, and hopefully the next run of stars with Paige Beckers and Juju, and we've got these names coming, that hopefully that league can actually grow and stand on its own 2 feet and make money, and they can make millions of dollars. But what I won't listen to is BS arguments about how everyone should be paid a bunch of money, somehow commiserate. The argument, and it's such a disingenuous argument that I'm hearing right now from everyone, is when they compare it to men's salaries. Well, the WNBA rookie contract is $72,000 a year, and the NBA contract for the number one pick is going to be $12.5 million. The NBA makes $11 billion a year. Like, we just need to stop with that nonsense, because you're doing another disservice. This is like when we say that, well, in order for a woman to really be, Caitlin Clark needs to play against men. No, she doesn't. She doesn't. She is a phenomenal athlete. She is a game changer. And let her exist in her space. And hopefully people will start paying attention to that sport because of Caitlin Clark, and they're going to realize there's more than just Caitlin Clark. There's great athletes there. And as more eyeballs come and the TV deals get bigger and the sponsorship deals get bigger, then the game grows. But I just think we for societal reasons and because no one wants to sound like an ass, I don't think a lot of people have honest conversations about this. And like Bill Burr does a whole bit on this, where this conversation, and then every talking head on ESPN has to sit there and be like, I don't know why they don't make more money. And his thing is because you don't sell any tickets. And even it's not even just the ticket sales. Most of the revenue that's driven, in these sports is by TV deals. and we see it go up. We're finally seeing women's basketball. Look at the NCAA numbers. You can't ignore these anymore. But now comes this is a pivotal time for the WNBA, in my opinion, because the game is growing. And we've seen the numbers go up, and we've seen the interest go up, and the league is expanding. But Caitlin Clark is a force multiplier. We saw what she did with the NCAA tournament. I think she set viewership records on 11 separate networks for women's basketball in the NCAA tournament. She was crushing it. Now it's time to take that and turn it into attendance and viewership for the WNBA. This is an opportunity for them to really, really grow the game. And if they miss out on it and it doesn't stick, unfortunately, I think it's just going to go right back to where it was. So I want to see this grow, but I just wish we could have more honest conversations.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I just think that whole everything you just said there was not what I was arguing. Like, that's a completely different thing. I mean, you changed everything. Like, all I said was 76,000 seems low for what Caitlin Clark is bringing to the table, and it is. But that's just the way the league CBA is set up.
Yes.
Like if she came into the league and only she, with everything that's gone on with her, and she was just able to negotiate her first contract, outside of the CBA, it would be a lot higher than that.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think $76,000 is shocking to a lot of people. Everything you said, I hear what you're saying. It's just that what she's bringing to the table, she is worth a lot more than that, even in a league that isn't turning a profit.
Yeah.
The other element of it is, and somebody said, I think the word Rop is looking for is marketing. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. I just think that the NBA could help prop up the WNBA better, and it wouldn't cost them an arm and a leg. You can only invest so much into something that isn't bringing you money back. But the idea of making money, you do have to sometimes spend money to make money. I just feel like the WNBA is an afterthought. And it probably would be anyway, but if they had more synergy with the brands, in other words, like something like the teams are a little bit more similar to the NBA.
Some of them tried, like with the Sparks and the Lakers, they use the purple and the yellow,
things like that. I just think it would. It's just odd to me that the NBA doesn't really do any of that, but maybe they will now if people are paying attention.
They're trying, and a lot of the NBA players are supporting it. You know, Kobe was a big guy with this, and you're seeing more NBA players show up at WNBA playoff games and giving the ladies their props. So I feel like it's a slow burn, but I think we're heading in the right direction. I really do. I think women's sports is going to continue to grow as, to your point, the investment in it grows, the marketing in it grows. I think you're seeing, we're just scratching the surface of where it can go. Where the end game is, I don't know, but it's certainly growing.
All right, so coming up next, that was all just a tease.
Yeah.
I was just teasing stuff. And damn it, you jumped down my throat, you sexist pig. Up next, we'll get back to our poll question. I have the Jim Harbaugh RV audio, which I think you'll enjoy, because I find Jim Harbaugh low-key funny.
Locked, cocked, ready to rock.
He's an interesting guy.
And he also listed his top 3 TV shows.
Oh, see, this I want to hear.
Yeah.
Does Harbaugh watch TV?
Did Judge Judy make the list?
I feel like it's going to be like antique.
He's attended Judge Judy with his father.
There's 2... What?
Yes. He said when he was the Niners coach, he loves Judge Judy. He loves how he swiftly adjudicates in her court, and he just thinks she's the greatest, and they caught wind of it, and they brought Jim Harbaugh in to sit in the gallery and be part of the studio audience for Judge Judy.
Oh my God.
You can find it on YouTube.
Well, I will tell you that 2 of the shows are great current shows. That it's cool to hear him list those. He watches.
Because I would hear, like, I'm thinking like Hill Street Blues.
Well, there's one of the shows is not,
Right.
and it is off. It's off the beaten path.
Sure.
But apparently he's been inspired by it since he was a kid. He is a freaking weirdo. But you are going to hear that as well. So our poll question is next. It's 3:34. Here's Buck.
Happy to be coaching guys.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk.
They have a good owner.
Yeah, you would think.
To me, it's the Warriors, but I don't know.
Yes.
The Astros are 6-14 or something.
Yeah, but half their pitching staff is dead. So
Well, Verlander pitches tonight.
if some of those guys can come back and can be healthy, although Verlander, how old is Verlander now?
40?
Right, that's
41.
yeah. I was gonna say maybe that's a little, but yeah, that's
He'll probably give up 7.
I would
41, yeah.
Is he 41?
Yep.
you're getting up there. I will never say a football team is washed or cooked because the league won't. The one that I would say, and even the Astros, again, I'm not ready to write them off. Again, you need an influx of healthy arms. I'm with you. I think it's Golden State because you want to talk about cooked. They had their opportunity to thread the needle with those young guys. Wiseman, Kuminga, Poole, and none of them really worked out, right? Poole's gone, Wiseman's gone.
Kuminga's the best thing they've got out of it, but he even got moved from a starting role to a bench role this year.
Yeah, he's the definition of meh. And Clay is no longer
He's not impactful anymore.
in any way. And Draymond is still a guy that on the right team, on a true contender, can be an impactful player, but I mean, essentially what you have now is you have Steph Curry in the twilight of his career, still playing at a really high level, and then you have a bunch of
if they're serious about
spare
winning with
parts.
him, they have to make a massive, massive shakeup because you can't run it back with most of this.
Well,
and
he's 36. Steph's 36.
yeah, it's what I said. Like,
So
it's,
Clay to
it's
me
the
is
twilight.
I don't know. I think Clay's cooked. I mean, the Warriors are cooked, but I think
Yeah.
Clay's cooked.
Well, we know that the NBA, especially when you're not dreadful, like if you don't have the top 3 picks, it's hard. You have to find that guy. I mean, you can wander in the desert for a long time. Look at Golden State before Steph came, right? And even that, I'm not gonna say you lucked into it, but there was that decision. Like Steph was injured early, and it was like him or Ellis, and a lot of things fell into place.
I thought they should have traded Curry.
Right? There were a lot of people that thought that. And, look how long, like the NBA, when you fall down, you can be down for a while. And that was the scary part about like Portland going through this is, rebuilds in the NBA. How long have the Magic been rebuilding? Although they're kind of on the other side of it. But, the Bulls after the Jordan dynasty, yeah, remember the baby Bulls and all the versions of that? I mean, there's just rebuilds can be terrifying because by the time you realize they don't work, you've wasted 6 or 7 years. Then you got to start the process again, and that takes another 4 years. And God, if that one doesn't work out, the next thing you know, you're a decade and a half in.
Bob Myers, the former Warriors GM, he was talking on a podcast the other day. He was talking about how they got Clay in that draft, and I don't know what year it was, but do you remember? Well, you probably don't remember, but Clay went 11th.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks picked 10th, and he said that thanks to the Kings, they were able to get Klay Thompson because the Kings traded up to number 10. Bucks moved back. Do you know who they traded up to take right in front of Klay Thompson, the Kings?
I don't.
Jimmer Fredette.
Jeebus. Really?
Yep, because Myers thinks that Milwaukee, if Milwaukee had stayed at number 10, they would have taken Clay. He thought they were going to take Clay, so he was worried. But then the Kings jumped in and took Jimmer, and he was like, perfect.
See?
And they got Klay Thompson.
And I don't care who, like, and I've heard some people now, I know Danny revels in the misery of the Warriors, and it bothers him that they do the we're smarter than everyone else. There isn't a dynasty in the history of sports that isn't built somewhat on good fortune and some luck. It's just, yes, you have to have smart people and you have to make calculated choices, but that's a great example, right?
But
If someone in Sacramento of all places doesn't fall in love with Jimmer Fredette, then maybe we don't have any of this. Or if Golden State decides to go with Ellis, who a lot of people at the time, and I'd love to know deep down, how close was that decision? Because Steph was an undersized guy with bad ankles.
And that was the thing is everyone thought Steph was made of glass. He couldn't stay healthy. And they're like, we at least know we got this known commodity and scorer in Ellis. Let's build off of that. It was before Steph Curry was Steph Curry. And the Warriors saw it behind closed doors and nobody else did. And they made the right gamble.
Well, wasn't Ellis pretty small?
Yeah, but he wasn't that much smaller than Curry. I mean, he
could score. He
was
No, I know,
really
but
quick.
I was thinking of the undersized guard problem that Portland is always had. I mean, these guys are good, but you can't have two undersized guards. And not that
Well, and that's why they needed to punt
Yeah.
one of them, and they chose the right one.
And yet the Blazers stuck with them. Not only stuck with two of them, they added another one.
Yeah.
And then another one.
Yeah.
Although Scoot's not really undersized.
He's not big.
Yeah.
He's a smaller guard.
And Curry's just special. But
Yes.
the undersized guard thing.
They did add an undersized guard that doesn't shoot the ball well. So
who are you talking about?
Scoot.
Oh, Scoot.
But he's a Westbrook.
How tall is Scoot?
He's 6'2".
Oh, all right. I thought he was bigger.
No,
I'm going to that lake.
He's not very big.
Well,
But-
anyway.
But he's athletic. Again, it's the
So-
Westbrook thing.
And Kentucky, with NIL now.
Hey man, we got the Pope. What are you talking about? Kentucky will always be a player because it matters to them.
Yeah, well, there's that.
If you got Kentucky across your chest and you've got a bunch of boosters that are willing to throw millions at kids,
Well, that's the key.
you'll be fine.
All
you
right.
think if Bill Self left, Kansas would be in trouble?
Well, I mean, I don't
When's the last time Kansas was bad?
this year.
Seriously.
They were 3 seed in the tournament. When was the last time they were bad?
Yeah, they're not.
Has there
bad
been a
offense.
time-
But you hire the wrong coach, man. It can get ugly fast.
And it can turn around fast when
Yeah,
you
but then
That it can.
yeah,
That it
quick hook and ambitious donors.
Yeah. Which championship franchise or team is most cooked? Astros, Warriors, Patriots, Kentucky. That is up now on X at 1080 The Fan, and Patriots leading 58%. Warriors have 26%. Kentucky 12%. Only 4% are ready to bury the Astros.
Man, I think
I'd like to bury the Astros, but I don't think we can yet.
no. Well, they've been too good for too long. It's hard to accept when a team's kind of like New England and Golden State have been trending. Like the Astros have been fine.
Yeah, but so Fromber is on the IL, right? He's done.
I think he's done. Yes.
Yeah, I think he's another TJ guy, right?
Hunter Brown can't get anybody out. Verlander is now back, but he's 41.
Mm-hmm.
Who
get on-
else?
he'll get
Don't
on
they
the
have another
sauce.
guy on the IL?
I want to say I got to look at there.
I thought.
I think
Their
they had
pitching's a
4
little-
of them.
Yeah, their pitching's a little suspect right now. Maybe Javier's out. Anyway, vote hard. Yesterday's poll question was, which of these words best describes the NBA's play-in tournament? 56% said meh, and then 22% said lame, and 22% said rad. Let's listen to Jim Harbaugh talk about living in an RV, because that's what he's doing. Next on The Fan.
Locked, cocked, ready to rock.
The home of dirt and spray.
I think having another professional team and having a city that cares even
The Fan.
All right, well, as we mentioned, the great Jim Harbaugh, who I really can't get enough of. He's just got that, I don't know,
Christopher Walken, you can watch him cook chicken.
Locked, cocked, ready to rock.
I think he's really smart, and I actually think he's low-key funny, and I do think a lot of times he just likes to do bits, particularly with the media, and I'm here for it. The way he handled all the crap coming at him at Michigan was funny to me, and I kind of respect him for being the first real prominent coach to come out and just totally flip the bird to these stupid-ass NCAA.
Yeah, he thumbed his nose at him.
So he's, I don't know if I'd want to hang with him, but
I think he's a lot.
He is a lot, but he makes me chuckle. And this is no different. This was on the Chargers Twitter account. Jim Harbaugh drove his RV to Huntington Beach and parked it, and he has been coaching. That's where he goes at night and sleeps. In his RV, and it's not that nice. Like, it's just it's a little dated.
You're right that Roman's RV is nice.
Roman's is pimp. Greg Roman, his offensive coordinator.
Yes, Harbaugh's is more just date. I'm guessing that for its time, this was.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna say it was top of the line, but it was a solid RV.
Somebody said it's 142,000 new.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, I
At
can
the
see
time,
that.
yes.
But it just doesn't.
Yeah, it
I mean,
doesn't.
it's not going to blow you away.
It doesn't hold up.
So the Chargers put out a 8-minute thing, and I watched the whole thing, and I can tell you that you don't need to watch it.
No.
It's just Harbaugh and Roman sitting there quipping at each other.
Yeah.
But here is a little snippet of it, the little teaser they put out. It's about a minute and a half on how it all came about.
Yeah, I am. We all are. Yeah, and I'm coaching for him. Yeah. We're in Huntington Beach at the Waterfront RV Park. This is my Quantum Thor motor coach. Kind of inspired by growing up watching the Rockford Files. Got my DVDs. I've been watch that. Nothing will make you feel more like a dad than when you figure out how to dispose of the waste. Felt like a real dad. Now, G-Ro, I said this is a Class C here. Greg Roman. How's it going, everybody? You want to see G-Ro's? Sure, yeah. Okay, come check it. Check this rig out. It's like what the rock bands go around in right here.
I mean, for one person, this beats any hotel room in America. You know what I mean?
Took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Living the RV life, G-Ro.
Yes, sir.
I asked my brother-in-law, John Fearborn, to drive this coach out, which he did. I'll tell you, some of the nights it was raining, is there a better night's sleep that you could get?
No.
In an RV when it's raining?
The rain's hitting the top of it? No way.
Just
no.
Put you right to sleep. The RV, I can speak. This has been a help to winning, to working, and
no question. Winning in football, is there anything like it?
It's cured more ills than penicillin.
There you go.
That is a known scientific fact.
You and I have won some games in California, so it'd be good to keep that tradition going, huh?
So that's just a little teaser. So he loved James Garner in Rockford Files. He loved it. And he goes in, I saw the whole, I watched the long version, and he goes into, like, he just was inspired by James Garner, the character.
Well, the Rockford Files, like, I think it was Jim Rockford was the
Jim Rockford.
Jim Rockford, yeah. Like my parents used to watch that. Like, that was a man's man.
Yeah.
I can see Harbaugh loving.
He loved that.
And I love that he has the entire series on DVD.
Yeah, along with Joe Dirt.
What?
Yeah, in the longer version, he says,
Dirt?
"Here's Joe Dirt. Got to watch that."
Wow.
So, what do you think his top 3 shows are? Because he mentions them.
And you said 2 are modern.
Yeah, and then one is Rockford Files. I mean, that's his favorite show, dude. He loves Rockford Files.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I thought he'd be like a Hill Street blues man in the heat of the night, Rockford Files, Starsky and Hutch. But you're saying the other ones are fairly new.
I have 2 guesses.
They're not fairly new. They are new.
They are new.
I mean, they're modern.
I'll say, I think Jim likes a power dynamic. I'll say Succession.
Oh, no.
That's interesting.
No, that's wrong.
Okay, how about just Yellowstone?
That's
that,
wrong.
That seems like Harbaugh.
That's good.
I was thinking Yellowstone was right up his alley.
I believe that these shows show that he has a sense of humor. There's a
he's got a sense of humor.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a hint.
Interesting.
Yeah. They're both funny.
Both funny shows.
Well, I mean,
is he listening to is he watching like The Big Bang Theory or something?
no.
That
One
would
of
fit,
them
though.
is Ted Lasso.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. I
He
can see
loves
that.
Ted Lasso.
Okay.
And the other one he mentioned is Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Get right there out of town.
Great.
Jim
Hey.
Harbaugh
Okay.
loves Larry David.
Loves him some
God, a
Curb.
guest spot with him on Curb would have been great.
Oh my God.
That
yes.
would have been Harbaugh playing Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Like I could see Larry going to
What's with all the khaki?
because Larry's a big football guy. Like Larry David
Big
loves
Jets fan, right?
Yeah, he's a big Jets guy. He thinks he could be the offensive coordinator for the Jets. Dude, I so wish that those two could have connected.
That show is
Well, it's over now.
it's over, but it's mostly ad-libbed. You know that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like there was the podcast with Jeff Garland and the woman who plays his wife on the show.
Susie Essman.
Yeah, Susie. They sit down, and I can't handle a lot of Jeff Garland.
I can't handle a lot of Susie.
Yeah, see, she's way better in the podcast, and he's way more over the top. Like
Interesting.
her character, she went over the top
Yeah.
on the show, but she's pretty chill in the podcast. Anyway, they're talking about that show and kind of the behind the scenes of it, and Larry and everything. And it would be fascinating to get Jim Harbaugh in there because they were talking about how basically Larry gives you a synopsis.
Mm-hmm.
And you read the synopsis, and then you just go in and do the scene, and you just play off each other, and
Yeah.
you just make stuff up.
Yeah.
Garland even said, "Is that his name, Garland?"
Yeah,
Jeff
I think so.
Garland.
Jeff
Garland.
Garland.
He even said he doesn't even like to read the synopsis. He just goes
Just
in,
go in.
and that's fascinating that those guys can do that and do it so well. But
They had
watching Harbaugh try to do that because Bruce Springsteen was on the last episode,
yeah.
and he was fantastic.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you they didn't give him lines.
No, it was just like Bruce react to this.
Yeah, and he was great at
Yeah.
it.
Well, and I miss the I forget the guy that played Super Dave Osborne. And he was Funkhauser. I forget.
Yeah, that's
I forget what his actual name. He unfortunately passed away now.
yeah.
But there are so many times where
Bob Einstein.
Bob Einstein,
Yeah.
he would interact with non-regulars on the show, and you could see Larry hated that he would go so far the other way. And so Larry David was always annoyed on the show, but in real life that he would just go off and tell these random jokes. There's a great scene where he tells Jerry Seinfeld, the real Jerry Seinfeld, this horrid joke. And Larry David, I saw an interview where he goes, I could not understand where the hell he was going with it. It made no sense in the context of the show. We didn't know what he was doing. It went on for like a minute and a half. And he's like, when it got done, it was so good, we couldn't cut it out.
Yeah.
And that's just the way that show operates.
That formula makes sense to me now because in the final season, I feel like I've seen scenes where Larry David is laughing, not
Yes.
like
Yeah.
he's
Yes.
hearing a joke for the first time. There's one in maybe even the last episode where he's sitting in a car with Leon and he is cracking up at the ridiculousness Leon is throwing at him, and you start to notice that he's like almost
He's
breaking
really
character.
laughing.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
really laughing. Yeah. Jeff Garland said that there are a lot of times in the show where you can go back and look and they will cut away from Larry
Because
but
they can't keep it
because
together.
He's about to
the
laugh.
SNL type.
Yeah,
deal.
and he said if you watch really close, you can tell when Larry breaks down and starts laughing. That show is fantastic, and Jim Harbaugh is a fan.
Yeah, that's
Can you
great.
imagine running into Jim Harbaugh at a truck stop or something in
No.
his
Well,
RV?
Imagine run. Oh, and by the way, to the listener's point, and I kind of forgot about this, but the Jim Rockford in the Rockford Files lived in a mobile home.
Well, that's why
Yeah,
that's why he
yeah,
said he bought the RV.
Bought the RV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's out there at Huntington Beach, although they're saying now that his family has moved to town, and so they're moving into their house.
Do you think Harbaugh's bitter?
Yes.
You think at times that like when his wife like during the season he doesn't want to deal with her, he just goes back to the RV.
It would be so
Yes.
on brand if he just kept the RV spot and kind of lived there halftime.
And somebody else texted in real quick. They said, watch that RV video and tell me that Jim Harbaugh didn't sit in his driveway with the till and the calculator running that garage sale. He totally ran his own garage sale. I absolutely believe that.
You're not wrong. He's a guy that's just wired different. $16 million a year, and he's driving an old, not super nice RV. And so you wonder in his mind, he's like, I don't need anything else. He's like, Jim Rockford didn't have one this nice. I wonder what kind of car Harbaugh drive. God, I can't say his name. Jim Harbaugh.
His
drives.
car is right next to the RV.
What's he
It's one
rolling?
of those
Seems
What
like
are
a
they-
truck guy.
what are the EV
Oh,
real
the-
fancy
y- Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Rivian.
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 He has a Rivian.
Really?
I'm pretty sure that's what
He's
it
a
is.
soy boy electric guy?
If you watch watch the video, his
wow.
car is right next to the RV.
I don't know what to make of
And
this.
you know it's his car because he loads it up with a bunch of stuff. I think it's a Rivian.
Interesting.
And I rode in one of those when we were in Georgia. It is freaking nice.
Is it?
It goes to. I mean, it's got some chutzpah.
Well, the electric cars, when I was leasing the electric Mustang, dude, it's like Teslas or anything else. It weighs so little, and there's no you just touch the gas and it goes.
It goes.
Dude, they're crazy. They're like driving little go-karts.
All right. Greg Doyle creepy tweets.
Oh yeah.
Do we want those, or did you guys already cover that?
Well,
We didn't, not
The
the tweets.
tweets.
We only did the initial soundbite.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have Greg Doyle creepy tweets
Can I give you the hard hands?
popping up.
I like that you're here.
That just
Creepy.
and that's not even the worst one. It's if you do it to me, then we'll get along fine.
And what Paul Skeens is doing next hour, 4:06 on the Fan.
It's an NBA playoff weekend. I'm Joe Ostrowski here to help you beat the books with BetQL. The NBA play-in round wraps up tonight before the rest of the series start this weekend. The BetQL model has 5-star plays on all the NBA playoff action for the weekend. I'm Joe Ostrowski. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
Fans merch locker is now open at 1080thefan.com. You can go in there and buy shirts for $25.
That's right.
We were getting feedback yesterday. People are already hitting that up, getting both shirts already.
My son is an idiot.
There's a My Son is an Idiot shirt.
Yep.
And there's a Rockin' You on a Friday shirt.
Rocking you on a Friday. Why did I say that?
And there's a classic fan shirt with our logo.
More to come.
More shirts to come. High quality, hella cool. Check it out at 1080thefan.com. Some people are saying that a couple people have texted in that Harbaugh's car is a Hyundai Santa Fe.
Really?
Yeah, I thought I saw a Rivian, but
I don't know.
I may be mistaken.
He's driving a Santa Fe.
Which is
that's on
Also
brand.
sensible.
Sensible, yeah.
kind of on brand. I mean, that could be a rental too, you know.
It's fascinating. He makes $16 million a year.
Well, like I said, it could be a rental. It could be a company car. There's somebody. It's a loan. Maybe it's a loaner for a while before his cars get here. I don't know.
We'll look up and see if I can find out what kind.
I feel like he probably has the Santa Fe because it's like, more of a beach-ready SUV, and he probably has a big truck for the mountains or something. I bet he is very interested in specific utility for his tools.
I would be really interested in any sort of piece about what our sportsmen drive.
Yeah, I could see
or
that.
sportswomen. I mean, what does Caitlin Clark drive?
Yeah, that's because.
What does Kim Mulkey drive? What does Dan Lanning drive? We're gonna get him on soon. I'm gonna ask him what he drives.
I think that's the key. We just have to come out and ask.
Because I think a lot of people might not like the question,
but I don't know why that bothers people. Like we know, because if you ask someone how much they make, right, it's a very offensive question. Even though you did ask that volleyball player.
I'm not afraid to ask.
No, you are not. Boy, it was a Carrie Walsh. She did not like that one bit.
I'm 0 for 1 on that.
Yeah, you're 0 for 1. But the car thing is a bit silly because heads up, every coach, we know you're rich.
Well, maybe it's just that they don't want people
to know
pinpointing them in their car. Like if he tells all of Portland that he drives an Audi Q8, then people now know that and they're looking. I don't know. They're looking for it.
I just think that's a weird thing to be ruffled, like to have your feathers ruffled over. But
some people are.
I think some of them, though, like especially football coaches, want that like blue collar everyman image. And if you're driving around in a Lambo, you kind of lose that a little bit.
Again,
well, then you're not projecting the image that you say.
Agreed. I'm not saying I'm justifying this. I just think where it could be coming from.
Shut up, Buckley.
If you make $7 million a year. Is anyone surprised? Although I would be surprised if Lanning drove a Lambo.
What do you think he drives?
I'm going F-150.
Oh, really?
Well,
he is Midwest.
He seems like a truck guy.
Decked out F-150 Raptor, something along those lines. I might be able to see like an Escalade, perhaps. Big SUV. He's not driving a car.
You don't think so?
Nah, it's a truck bro. He's a truck SUV guy.
Now I really want to know. But anyway, I mean... It's just one of those things. It's like it'd be a good segment.
Yeah,
on ESPN.
I'm trying to do some research to see if I can see Jim Harbaugh driving a car anywhere.
All right. Well, now we have to break. But
he used to have a rusted out Beetle, but that was when he was at the University of Michigan.
When we come back, I'll get you the Greg Doyle creepy tweets because people are now mining the past.
I like that you're here.
For we mine the past for outrage, right?
Yeah.
Like anytime anybody gets in the news, we got to go back through and
we got to go through and see how
all
creepy...
the crazy stuff you've said.
Well, if you're creepy once, then we assume that you've been creepy before. Therefore, we will go back and
this guy is a creep.
Yes,
and there are tweets to prove it.
He's known for being weird.
That's what he's known for? I thought he was like a sports columnist.
He is, but I guess that they are saying that like if you go to Indy, you haven't really experienced an indie media session until Doyle has asked you a stupid question. But there's a difference between being stupid or uncomfortable and creepy.
Sounds like a great bit.
Yeah. Well, we all know that person. Right?
Yeah.
We all know that person that makes everyone slightly uncomfortable. Might be you.
I've got an idea who you're talking about.
Isachi.
Here locally. So we'll get to that coming up next. It's 4:16 on The Fan.
The Fan merch
All right, In the News is coming up next.
By the way, I found someone put together diminished value. This is out of Georgia. They did put together, it is confirmed. They got photos and stuff and of the top, the highest paid coaches in college football and what they drive.
Well,
and Dan Lanning is on here.
Well, somebody told us on the text line that Lanning drives a Chevy Tahoe.
And you know what's crazy? When you scroll down to this list and you see Dan Lanning.
Is it a Chevy Tahoe?
Chevy Tahoe.
Okay, well, we know. We didn't even need to ask him.
Yes.
It's a courtesy car.
It is a courtesy car. A lot of these with the coaches, most coaches at Division I football schools, they all get courtesy cars.
I'm going to ask for that in my next contract. How do you think that's going to go?
Yeah. Well, see if there's they're like at Washington, they have them they call dog dealers. And so they have a network of dealers that provide cars for all their coaches. I don't think we have a fan network of cars.
Why not? I see a truck right outside. It's got the Wolf logo on it. What's the Wolf got on us?
Get to going. But they've got like Billy Napier on here, Mario Cristobal, Nick
What's
Saban.
Cristobal driving?
Cristobal goes Ferrari.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah, he's got a nice Ferrari. They say price tag on that bad boy about $275.
Oh,
yeah. They do
That's
have
baller.
That's baller. They do have Jim Harbaugh on here. Again, it was courtesy car.
Hyundai Santa Fe.
But Harbaugh had a courtesy of a Dodge dealer out there. He had a Demon Challenger,
locked, cocked, ready to rock,
which is one of the fastest street cars on the road. So that kind of makes sense, right?
I think those are kind of douchey.
Jimbo Fisher, Chevy Silverado, normal 36.
That's
yeah, just
boring.
Normal car. Lane Kiffin.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Lane
You
Kiffin,
do something like a Bentley or Rolls.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin, most expensive one on here. More expensive than the Ferrari.
Like the Phantom or something like that.
I could see him being flashy.
Rolls Royce.
Whoa, dude.
And it's gold.
Wow.
It's a black and gold Rolls Royce. That's how he gets down. Mel Tucker used to drive a Ferrari, not anymore. Saban had two. Saban, his courtesy car was a Mercedes AMG GT. That was what the school provided. And then on his own, he had the same Ferrari that Mario Cristobal had.
Oh.
The Ferrari.
So Cristobal is just a little Saban wannabe. Well, he came from this, he
was
there
under Saban. And I can see Saban driving around in a convertible Ferrari.
Did you read the text about Lanning's first car?
No.
Lanning's first car was a 1990 Plymouth Acclaim burgundy four-door hand-me-down from his grandparents.
That's tasty. The interesting one on here is Mike Norvell. He drives around, I guess this is not his only car, but he drives around campus in one of those Polaris slingshots, like a dune buggy sort of thing.
Really?
Yeah. I guess he just, that's how he cruises around
Do you
Tallahassee.
remember what Mike Riley drove?
Bicycle, right?
His little bike.
Yeah, a little bike.
With his little bell on it.
I found that to be the most on-brand thing that you
Back
could
in the day now.
ever find about Mike Riley is that he rode a bicycle to work.
Okay, so here's the Indiana Star's columnist, Greg Doyle, being creepy with Caitlin Clark.
Hi, Caitlin. Greg Doyle, Indy Star. Real quick, let me do this.
You like that?
I like that you're here. I like that you're here.
I do that at my family after every game, so.
Okay, well, let's
cool.
start doing it to me and we'll get along just fine. So, question is...
So he's talking about the little hand heart thing.
Yeah, but boy, he's
a weirdo.
Well, and as people have pointed out, and this is what I said, it's not that hard. You would have never asked that of any Indianapolis Colt.
Someone said, would you do that to Wemby at his introductory presser?
No.
You wouldn't.
Of course not. And he knows that. He's already apologized. Yes. And, these columnists, sometimes they just do this. They know exactly what they're doing. They want to get the headlines, and then they apologize because they know there's no really real repercussions for it. So they just, I don't know, like the guy's not dumb. So he probably he knew it would blow up and he wanted to be.
Well, but sometimes reporters, when dealing with female athletes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm just saying.
It's embarrassing.
Doyle, columnists are a little different than reporters.
True.
He's a columnist. These guys they're paid to stir it up, right?
Yeah.
So apparently he's a super creepo because Bro Bible went back and did a list of some of his creepiest tweets from summer of 2010. Would you like to hear these, Jace?
Oh, boy. Probably not because they're going to be cringy, but let's do it anyways.
One of them was, just realized my LeBron column references masturbation, gangbangs, and oral...
What?
Damn, I'm twisted. That's from July 8th, 2010.
What the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody tweets at him and says, so is it more embarrassing to break your arm on a moped or be caught riding a moped altogether? And Greg Doyle said, like sex with a dwarf. Fun, but only if nobody knows.
Yeah, that's there's different versions of that joke that have existed forever. Good one, Doyle.
Somebody else, he's tweeting at Amber's mom.
Oh.
09.
Yeah.
Are we talking about sex addiction as I look at your cleavage? Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Oh. Okay.
Another one, he says, farm animal sex is one thing, but sisters, ew. Replying to someone there.
Huh. Well, he's just one of these guys, and again, we know him, that love to turn things sexual. Right? Like,
well, he's a creep.
Yeah.
Those are called creeps.
Sure. Everyone has encountered that person that no matter what the conversation is, they find a way to turn it sexual. And then you're just like, yeah, time and place, my man.
So his tweet was, the other day was, today in my uniquely oafish way, while welcoming Caitlin Clark to Indy, I formed my hands in her signature, the heart. My comment afterward was clumsy and awkward. I sincerely apologize. Please know my heart, literally and figuratively, was well-intentioned. I will do better.
Yeah. Again, it's not that hard to
And then he had the famed apology column.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't
So that's
read
where
that.
he profits off of.
Yes.
The,
yes.
I just have to be so much better.
Yeah, I don't want to be the story, even though I love it that I'm the story. Deep down, he probably loves that everyone's talking about him.
That's what I mean. I think a lot of those guys do insert them. That's their whole job, is to insert themselves
Yeah, makes sense.
Into the bits.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he's a creep. We can all move on. Look at this. We're on time.
Wow. When's the last time this happened?
I don't know.
I like that you're here.
I like that you're
here.
It's just that. And the whole, just, again, it's not that hard to treat female athletes like, oh, I don't know, athletes.
Give them hot milk.
No.
Have little cookies.
Don't do that.
Which is creepier?
Don't do that. There's no creepier than Michael Jackson.
Oh, really?
No.
Nothing? I like that you're here.
No.
Give them hot milk. We have little cookies.
Michael Jackson is being asked whether or not he's inappropriate with children. And his response is that he loves children. He loves to have them all climb into his bed. And then he says that is in an interview about him potentially molesting children.
What about this?
I'm not gonna lie, that turns me on a little bit.
This is great. That's from Boomerang.
Yeah, Boomerang.
All right. In the news is coming up next. We have Molotov cocktail news.
Oh, those are still a thing, huh?
And ladies and gentlemen, we had a fire at Timberline Lodge. Oh, also, there's a cop on trial, and I want to know what you think of what she did.
Okay.
A Vancouver cop. One of your finest.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that. Coming up next, 428, here's Buck.
Now, from the Fan Sports
Joey Harrington coming up next hour. Right now, April 19, 2024. Time for In the News. I am your noted and sexy newsman. Please be seated.
I am. I never stood up.
Thank you. Well, a lot of people do.
That's true.
When I
enter a room. Although, to be fair, you've been sitting here the whole time as well.
Yeah.
My father-in-law's penis lit up a room wherever he went. It's random. Greg Doyle have to
lit up the room.
Apologize for that.
Yeah, we're just as creepy as Greg Doyle, apparently.
Yeah,
well,
but
you are.
But just to each other, though.
It's National Chicken Parm Day.
Who doesn't love a good chicky parm? God,
you ain't kidding.
You know, there's nothing like sitting down at the Olive Garden, the finest Italian restaurant money can buy.
That's right.
Order yourself a deep fried chicken parm. Some free breadsticks.
It's also Bicycle Day.
Yeah, go pedal. I do enjoy riding my bike, and that's a bit of an upset. If you'd go back and found me 20 years ago, would have laughed at you.
Imagine if someone's in a coma and they were big Souk fans in 2006, and they wake up in 2024 and they see that you're a cyclist and you drive an EV. What would they say?
It's rough times out there. It's rough times out there. People can change.
Such a snowflake.
Well, I am a.
Where did you go wrong?
I am a soy boy. I've seen the note.
Hey, Timberline Lodge is closed. And the ski area is closed.
Caught on fire.
Caught on fire.
Yeah. Woke up this morning to see that.
Yeah.
Look at the pretty good flames that I saw on Twitter, but they're saying it's not as bad as it initially looked.
The fire started around 9:30 in the attic on the north side of the historic lodge. Employees tried to douse the blaze using fire extinguishers but could not. Firefighters arrived in about 20 minutes and were able to keep the fire contained to the attic and the roof. So they've closed it. Now, our sources are telling us they could be open by Sunday because they got to clean up the water damage from the hoses.
Yeah.
And then patch up the roof.
All right.
But everything else is fine.
Everything else is fine. All right, that's good because, Timberline Lodge, that's a historic venue. I think it has actually been deemed a historic landmark.
Yeah. So they could have been worse.
Do we know what caused the fire?
I don't think they know yet.
I haven't seen that anywhere, so I just know if it was did it happen in a kitchen or was some jackass smoking when they shouldn't have been? Or
well, if it was only in the attic, maybe they're trying to get insurance money.
Did you see the that was on the who's the guy that he was in Breaking Bad and The Boys?
Jesse from Breaking Bad.
No.
That would be Aaron Paul, but no, you're thinking of Giancarlo Esposito, who plays Gus Fring.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's in The Gentleman.
He is The Gentleman. Yeah, I saw today that he said before he got Breaking Bad, made me think of that. That you said the insurance thing. He said that he was contemplating and had looked into hiring a murderer to kill him so that his kids could get insurance money. He was so broke.
Really?
Yeah. That was the headline. I was like, okay.
I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have worked.
Well, it seems very dark. I mean, I understand you want your kids to have some money, but I'm pretty sure my kids would rather have me around than me dead and a little money.
But isn't that easy to say now that you're rich? You know?
Yeah.
Come on, Gus.
Yeah. That was a headline today I saw.
Did you see have you been following the videos of the Brazilian Weekend at Bernie's?
Oh, yeah. We talked about it while you were gone. The video is insane.
Oh, my God.
It's insane.
She literally wheeled him into... This is a dead guy.
Yes. Her uncle.
She wheels him into the branch.
Yes.
To sign something.
And she, makes his head nod.
Yes.
It's so weird.
Yeah, she turns to him, and it's in Portuguese, so, but I guess the translation is... She says, "Uncle, do you want this loan?" And then she reaches back and grabs the back of his head and shakes it. And then she puts the pen in his dead hand and then tries to grab his wrist and get him to sign.
Dude, that's another kind of crazy.
Well, and it was for like $3,400 too.
Is that it?
That's it. And it wasn't even... She wasn't trying to steal his money. She was trying to take out a loan in his name. Which, again, at that point, is like, good luck getting that paid back. My man's dead. Is she not aware that banks have cameras, too?
Well, I thought it was funny in the story. They were like, well, the tellers actually were tipped off by the nodding of his head.
They weren't tipped off by anything else.
Right. Like, that's all. Oh, it's like, wow, I really wouldn't have noticed except for the nodding of the head.
And his eyes and everything else and the smell of death. Yeah, and it's all on film. You can...
Yeah, it's all on tape.
Look it up.
Crazy. A man is facing domestic violence charges, among other crimes, after lighting a trailer on fire by using a Molotov cocktail in southeast Portland. This happened yesterday morning around 6:15. Southeast 162nd and Southeast Division. Fire crews extinguished the fire. Determined that arson was the cause of the incident. They say a man and woman were near or at the fire when it was lit. No reported injuries. Apparently, this guy didn't like those two people.
No.
And so he threw a Molotov cocktail in their trailer.
Well, I mean, I guess, you go back to the basics. I mean, it's like the oldest trick in the book, right?
They found the suspect, William Wingo, 33 years old. He tried to run but was quickly apprehended. Apparently, he's slow.
He's not fleet of foot. I don't know why, but I find it funny, the idea of someone hucking an alcohol fiery ball at something and then
not being able to run away,
slowly shuffling away as the police sirens go, and I just can't run anymore. Meanwhile, he ran like half a block. Be in better shape if you're going to be an arsonist.
So they're saying he previously lived in that trailer, and he was doing it with the female, and he had assaulted her the day before with a slingshot and lit a blanket on fire. So,
good Lord.
Yeah.
What is happening out there?
Didn't have all that on my bingo
card.
It's
wild.
Thunderdome.
It's getting wild in the streets.
He had other outstanding warrants, but he's been hit with a myriad of charges.
What? He's got other charges? Who would have thought? Would you see the story about the dude? Remember the guy that crushed the lady's head with a rock after he said he was going to when he got out of the mental hospital?
No.
You don't remember that story?
No.
Yeah, guy was at the Oregon State Mental Hospital, and he told the workers there, he goes, "Yeah, I want to hit someone over the head with a rock," and they were like, "Well, we've kept you here as long as we can keep you," so they let him out. He walks out the door, picks up a rock, and smashes a woman in the head with it.
Like right outside the door?
Right outside the door. Literally walked outside, picked up a 34-pound rock, hit the next lady he saw in the head with it.
She died? I hope not.
No, but she was seriously injured. Yeah, turns out they're not going to let that guy stand trial. So
they're not going to let it. In other words, he's locked up for good?
No, no.
Or no, he's back out.
Oh, well, you read about it. It's a whole thing. It was a little hard to understand. So they're saying that they treated him for a year, and they were like, no, he still can't stand trial. And because of some limitations, they can't keep him indefinitely. So there's like this, it's very, no one's certain how long he's actually going to stay in the hospital. But he's back in the hospital because they deem that he can't be released because he's too dangerous, but they won't let him stand trial for bashing the woman's head in.
Where was he?
The state hospital in Salem. Yeah. But we can't put him in prison because, well,
Jesus,
I don't know.
Did you see the Vancouver police officer who was on trial?
No. What are we doing out there?
Well, her name is Andrea Mendoza, and she is accused of 4th-degree assault, which is a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
But her trial started yesterday because so this is in a parking lot of a Walmart, May of last year.
Nothing good happens in the parking lot at a Walmart. I can assure you of that.
You can watch the video. I've watched it. The Vancouver police put it out there. They have the Walmart view, the Walmart camera view, and then they have the police cam view. And I watched it, and I will tell you, it is exactly as described.
Okay.
She is with another cop who's a male, and the girl, there are two perps, a girl and a boy. The girl runs away. The boy gets dragged to the ground by the two cops, okay?
Okay.
But he doesn't go without a fight. I think the kid's pretty stocky. He's 21, 22 years old.
He's in the husky teen section.
Well, I mean, I just say that because he's strong. He could be hard for her by herself to take down.
He's not a little kid.
And the dude cop she was with is a skinny dude. But they got him down. Well, then he gets up and he tries to, he's wrestling with them again.
Sure.
So she tases him, And the male cop then is able to subdue the perp. Well, as the kid is on the ground, he's also saying he can't breathe. The guy fixes his sweatshirt so he can then breathe. Okay, she pulls down his pants and puts the taser on his nuts.
Oh, I think we read this story when it first happened. Is it now finally coming to justice?
Yeah, she's on trial.
Okay,
So
yeah.
there's a whole trial here, but she did not tase him in the genitals, but she did, and it is on the video. Of course, they blur everything out, thankfully.
Yeah.
But she does pull down his pants, and she holds that thing right on his...
Right to the fun bag.
Pork steeple.
Yeah.
It's all right there.
Pork steeple.
Yeah, and now...
But she doesn't fire it?
No, she does not tase
It's just the threat.
It's the threat of, hey, I'm going to... Now, a couple things you need to know. One, he is subdued at this point.
Yeah.
The male cop seems to have him under control.
Where do I find this video? I can't find this. I'm on...
Well, I see it. I think KGW put it out there.
Okay.
It's on the KGW story about this trial. And so apparently, his body parts were exposed for about 25 seconds.
Oh, she got the undies down too and everything.
Yeah, dude, it's and he's just laying there, and I will say,
let me see right here,
that he then from that point on he did cooperate, but he had already been tased once, but not in the genitals.
At that point, he cooperates.
He was like, okay, fine.
Fine.
So then they rolled him over, and his pants came back up, and so that was the end of it.
Is he suing for like indecent?
He's not suing. She is charged
with a crime.
With a crime, fourth degree assault, and so she is on trial. I talked to a cop friend of mine today who said this is going to be a tough one for her.
Yeah.
Because she was with another cop who seemed to have him.
Oh yeah, dude,
under control.
I'm looking at it right here. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah, right?
You can't.
I wasn't lying.
No. I mean,
I'm listening to the audio. Knock it off or I'll shoot it in your nuts.
Yeah, she says, knock it off or I'll do it in your nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
And she's got those things hanging out there.
She's got it right there. And she did indeed pull down his pants.
Yes.
Like, it's one thing if the pants...
Yes.
I was wondering if the pants were kind of falling down.
No.
And
she yanks that stuff out.
Yeah, you can't.
And drops that taser right on there.
Yeah, you can't. You can't do that.
My wife did that to me once.
What? It's not the worst Thursday night you've ever had, right? Can't do that. You can't. Now, you know, I mean, I try to back my police officers. I think it's a very tough job, but you got to call a strike when there's a strike, and I'm not even certain if that one is on the corner. I kind of think that's middle half of the plate there. You can't do that. So
her defense is arguing that the law allows police officers to use necessary force to arrest people and to defend themselves. A friend of mine that I talked to said that, look, if she were by herself trying to handle that guy,
sure,
this may be different. But
can I ask, like,
it's not. And she wasn't.
The pulling down of the pants. Like, I get if you've got the taser and you're like, hey, I'm going to put it right there. But you can't
yank out somebody's junk.
No, you can't.
And by the way, if you want to tase him, just tase him where you always tase him.
Exactly.
Like, why do you have to?
Well, I think
like, what's she doing there?
I think the idea is more of the threat, but like it's the same thing. Like we can't be going around pulling out up tops and threatening to tase in the girls. Like,
I do think that from an effectiveness standpoint, like if you were told you were to get tased there versus, I don't know, your chest or your arm, you might listen a little bit more.
Yeah,
I'm not saying she can do it, but
it's possible. He did.
Yeah, he stopped.
He did.
You know, you can't.
Or maybe she's pervy.
Well, I don't know. Maybe this is the Doyle of cops. Yeah. But it works the same way. I can't flip.
I like that you're here.
I can't flip someone over and tell them that the balloon knot's about to get zapped. You can't do it. You just can't.
Well, she did it.
You can't.
So we'll see what happens with that trial.
I got a good idea what's going to happen with the trial. You're about to get charged.
Yeah, it's a gross misdemeanor. So I don't know if she'll go to jail. But
I guess that she gets fired.
Well, she's been on leave, so she probably won't get her job.
Yeah,
her job back. Hey, coming up next.
So important safety tip, everyone. Don't tase in the balls.
Well, and you always get the guy who's like, well, don't try to run from the cop.
Yeah.
Well, but
you
just can't. You can't.
Yeah, you can't. You can't do that.
They can. Well, they can tase you.
you can't yank down.
But she went a little far.
Went a little far. Got a little rambunctious. Got caught up in the moment. Can't do it.
So note to self: don't fall asleep at the TriMet station.
Yes.
You see that?
Yeah, I saw this one.
Oof.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's next on The Fan.
This is the Fan's Window into Sports, a view into today's top stories. Brought to you by Window Nation, online at windownation.com.
We needed to come up with something that would long-term preserve hockey in Arizona, at the same time enable us to establish a new franchise using
Right.
Mind your own business. Ugh.
Well, I got to tell you, this sounds awful, but if I saw that,
Well,
I don't know what I would do. I don't
Tell someone or call
911?
someone.
Well, but are we certain that it didn't look like perhaps they were just having consensual sex and you go, oh, Portland.
I don't know.
And then
Well,
you just move on?
To your point, unfortunately, again,
30 minutes.
Mass Transit Center.
Right.
I don't think
It's like you're not going to be shocked by anything you
No.
see there.
No. You go to one of those places, it is officially Thunderdome.
Do you remember when the Max was nice?
I do. I used to ride it down to Winter Rock games.
And we used to be proud of that. We were like, oh man, yeah, we have a great train. It's not bad at all. You can get
No.
around and it goes to the airport now. And now there's just needles and
Well, didn't we do a thing where we tested like 100 services on the Max, and every one of them tested positive for like fentanyl or coke? You remember that story?
Yeah.
Yeah, they tested all the surfaces, and
Yeah.
it all had traces
All
of
of it.
every drug they tested for.
Yeah, all of it.
It's like my house.
And some hepatitis just for S's and giggles. You know, it's for the fun stuff.
So she says she has no recollection of any of this. She only learned that she had been attacked when she reached out to TriMet the next day to try to get her phone.
And they were like, hey.
They were like, yeah, we have some video that we need to show you or tell you about.
Lord.
So then they arrested that guy because DNA taken from her clothing matched him.
Yeah, it turns out you can't do that.
Yeah, he is facing multiple charges of first-degree sexual abuse, unlawful sexual penetration, and public indecency.
Can we not?
He will not be released on bail.
Cool.
Well, they're asking that the court not release him on bail.
I hope so. Can we just...
He is a safety risk.
Again, can we just put him away forever? Just go away. You don't get to be amongst us anymore. Go away.
You know what I wonder about a guy like that? So he comes across this.
An elderly woman.
And he just...
it's like right there.
He just...
Yeah.
he just thinks, oh, well, I'll have that.
Yeah.
If that woman isn't there, is this guy... Is he just a criminal no matter what?
I think so.
Or was that just an opportunity that he saw as like, well, her pants are off, so...
well,
you know what I mean? Like...
I mean, he was caught working it in a Target parking lot in 2014.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
I was guessing that if
So he's
someone
a
has
perp.
that kind of audacity, this isn't their first offense of something like that, or that they've escalated to this.
Yeah. Yeah. So, dude, this dude's a scumbag. Just go away. Just leave. You know, I hope whatever sentence they can give him, the max, make up some stuff. Go away. The world is a better place without this person in it. But you're right. Whether you're a scumbag or not, the idea that you're like, here's an elderly woman, seems to be passed out there and her pants are off. Well, might as well.
Yeah. Seems to be an invite.
I know there's security cameras everywhere and there's other people around, but oh well.
Opportunity's opportunity.
So we think it's like impulse, like he can't.
Yeah, he just
can't.
He just can't.
Not.
Nope. Nope. He's just.
Which makes me think he's done this before with other people and not been caught, perhaps.
Yeah.
All right. There's your In the News for April 19, 2024. Uplifting, as always.
That was uplifting. I think we all learned something today.
The Hot 5 at 5 is next on The Fan.
It's time for High Stakes, a tasty look at clutch performances
right, welcome back. Hope you're having a nice, juicy little Friday. It's beautiful out there.
Yes, it is. We getting a good weekend too? Do we know?
I read that maybe some rain tomorrow.
Scattered
night.
showers tomorrow, but should be mostly good. I think.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. They're saying all the way in through next week.
Oh yeah, tomorrow we got some 66% chance of rain according to my
Yeah, I think that's tomorrow night.
Samsung.
Yeah, I think it's more afternoon. I hope so because we have a toddler's birthday party in the morning.
Where are you guys going?
Our backyard. It's our son's 3rd birthday.
Oh, congratulations. I was going to say that's great for you because then you don't have to go if it rains. But
That's exactly right.
Now, are you going to do one of those where it's way over the top even though he has no idea what's going on, but your wife really wants to make it a big deal?
No. She has picked a theme. It's called Wild and 3, which basically means we have cups and plates that say Wild and 3. And I'm going to hide some like safari animals around the backyard, and he's going to go on a safari and find them. That's the extent of the party.
Look, don't take this the wrong way, okay? But my friend, that is my worst nightmare.
Wake up in a cold sweat.
Here's the thing. Only his grandparents and one friend are coming over. We're not like inviting a bunch of kids pretending it's a thing that we're all going to enjoy.
Because I always enjoy when these things happen and I have to remind people. I'm like, you realize that your kid has no idea what's going on and this is 100% for you, and yet you're complaining about it? But at least, you know.
Oh, I'm not having complaints. He's going to have a fun time.
Wait, there's no other kids there, though?
One other kid. He's 3. He doesn't have friends.
He's not very popular, is he?
The other kids hate him.
Well, you know, the white privilege is real. And, you know, there's some other kids that are a little bitter and angry. You can't get into the other trust fund kids to come over? No?
Young bucks already...
At 3, they don't really have friends.
Already rubbing kids the wrong way.
Well, that's why at 3 they shouldn't have parties, because they're 3.
Well, that's why it's just his grandparents and one friend coming
But they do
over.
it at 1 years old, too.
I know. That's the one I don't get.
1?
You realize your kid's going to crap his pants halfway through it. Like, I don't get it.
And so will Grandpa.
I
Half the field's going to crap their pants.
my BTJ, she's got a lot of her friends that have little kids, and they're like, you need to come to this. The kids would love to see you. I'm like, the kid's 3.
Could care less.
The kid doesn't care. And they're like, well, they think you're big and fun. And I'm like, that kid will not remember 1 second of this party, especially if I'm there or not.
You know, there are a lot of things in society that are like that, where people say them over and over and over. And I just wonder, do people think before they, like, do they ever think about, like, you really think I'm buying that? Like, the kids would love it. No, they wouldn't.
They wouldn't. Exactly.
They could not give two. They don't even know who I am.
Exactly.
What are you trying to convince? Like, come up with something better than that to get me there.
Exactly. You know, say that you're going to put out or afterwards or something.
Rob, we got bourbon.
Yeah,
well, that might help.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, the whole kid industry, man. If you ever want to make $1 billion, just do something that preys upon insecure parents and young children, because it's just a license to print money, where mom and dad are like, my kid's gonna love it.
There's just so many things like that, like the pumpkin patch bit.
Yeah, youth sports.
Dude, how about the sitting on Santa Claus's lap? You wait in the long line, and a lot of the times the kids are terrified.
Well,
but I tell you, at least with Santa, I mean,
I'm talking about the visit to the mall where you wait to sit in his lap.
I get it.
Well, tell me there's a worse one than youth sports. Same thing. My gal last weekend was like, I'm going to a t-ball game. I'm like, excuse me? And she's like, well, my friend's kid is playing a t-ball game. And I'm like, well, which kid? And she tells me, and I'm like, isn't he like 4? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, that's not t-ball. It's not. It's just a bunch of parents standing around yelling at their children to run that way. Like, why are we having organized soccer or t-ball at 4? Those kids have no idea, and I mean 0, what's going on. And yet we put mitts on them and little uniforms, and we bring them out to a baseball diamond. Why? Who is that? Because it's not for the kids. It's really not. That's for a bunch of...
Is it ever for the kids?
It's for a bunch of dads.
All right, coming up, Joey Harrington, 5:30. He's got shoes he's peddling, and then we'll talk a little Augusta National. Coming up tonight in the club, are there really more problems than ever on an airplane or on airplanes?
It feels like it.
It does feel like it.
But is it really?
But I have some math.
Okay.
And you know how I love math.
You do.
And we have a record wave, bro.
Tasty waves.
Tasty surf, bro. That'll be in the club 6 to 7. Right now, the Hot 5 at 5.
Oh.
hot topics, hot opinions,
Oh, golly, I'm hot today.
and hot air. It's time for the Hot 5 at 5.
That's hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 on Primetime with Isaac and Sue.
No, I mean it. That's very hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 with Isaac and Sue. Brought to you on The Fan by Victorico's Mexican Food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Online at victoricos.com. Number 5.
Got a little college basketball portal news. UConn freshman star Stephon Castle has entered the NBA draft.
He gone. I've seen in most places now him being a top 5 pick.
Yeah, they're saying he's expected to push toward the top of the lottery. He's a 6'6 guard, good-sized guard. Now that is a big guard.
Yes.
Make that 7 Duke players who have entered the transfer portal. This in addition to the players that are losing to the NBA or graduation.
Now, they are saying that Duke's recruiting class that they're bringing in is arguably the best recruiting class in the history of college hoops.
Right, which is probably why all of the other players are leaving.
I sat down and was like, hey, listen, boys, just so you know, no guaranteed spots next year.
The latest to leave is freshman forward Sean Stewart.
Cooper Flagg, by the way, in that recruiting class as well. The presumed number 1 overall pick.
Future Blazer Cooper Flagg.
Well, they tanked properly.
Is he really the number 1 pick?
Yes.
Next
He's
year?
supposed to be.
Him and Ace
this
Ba-
year?
No.
This year?
No. He's
Next year.
Not in this year's draft. He's next year's draft.
So they're saying the only
Number
one is
4.
that Ace Bailey is another kid that they're saying may
I like that name.
have something, but by all accounts, Cooper Flagg will be the number 1 pick.
The Colorado Rockies are under federal investigation after video of hitting coach Hensley Mullen sitting in the cockpit of their charter flight via United surfaced on his Instagram account. That would be a clear violation of safety and operational protocol.
I love more than anything else when people, John Morant, they break the law and then film themselves doing it and post it to the interwebs.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to post those things.
No, he had to show you his how cool it was, what he was doing.
Yeah. Cool move, everybody.
I do a lot of things for the gram, including break the law sometimes. Get those likes up.
Gotta do it for the gram.
His nickname's Bam Bam.
Rockies Mariners, by the way, the series opener in Denver postponed. We will not get to see Julio Rodriguez strike out again tonight.
Well, it's going a little rough. A little rough.
Dude, he struck out 27 times already.
What did I say? It's a little rough. Hey, I think they're only a game below 500. They're creeping towards 54%.
Another Porter brother is in trouble. I said that weird. Another Porter brother is in trouble.
Yes.
This time, Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, Coben, he is 22 years old. He has been sentenced to 6 years in prison.
Yeah.
This after Jonte Porter was just kicked out of the NBA for gambling. Things are going great in the Porter house.
Well, do you think that Jonte is happy that his brother's going to prison because it takes some of the shine off him?
Well, the shine's already off of him. He got booted from the league, and now nobody. I mean, it was a story for a day. It's like, you're an idiot.
This is terrible. Yeah, he killed a guy.
Yeah, a woman. He hit and killed a woman while driving drunk last year, so he is going to prison for 6 years.
Yeah.
We do have play-in action tonight. Kings Pels later. No Zion Williamson. The winner gets Oklahoma City. And then Heat Bulls right now for the right to lose to the Celtics. Miami is up 10 in the second quarter.
Remember, if Miami goes on, they get the Celtics without Jimmy Butler, who will be out for a couple of weeks. At least.
Number 2.
Arizona State starting quarterback Jaden Rashada is transferring. Many think to Georgia to sit behind Carson Beck for a year.
Well, remember, he was the big recruit that was going back and forth between Miami and Florida, and then supposedly they didn't pay him what he thought or what was agreed upon. So that was a big hullabaloo. And so he went to Arizona State, and it was a big deal, but he wasn't any good when he was at it. I mean, he's a freshman, but he didn't light the world on fire. He didn't start the entire year. And there's some, and I don't know what to make of this, but I was reading about it today. There's some people at Arizona State that were saying that he wasn't guaranteed to be a starting quarterback this year.
Yeah, he started
like 3 games?
2 games, and then he got hurt.
Yeah.
In other Sun Devils news, the punishment has been handed down by the NCAA for their recruiting violations under Herm Edwards. 4 years probation, scholarship reductions, and recruiting restrictions. There are 4 staff members who get show causes between 3 and 10 years. Yeah. Of course, nothing for Herm.
No.
But he is not coaching. He's back in TV.
Herm will never coach again.
come too far together to stop now. Let's do it.
By the way, all that stemmed from recruiting during COVID. Supposedly we weren't allowed to bring people in, and they brought everyone in. And what did they do? They took photos of it. That was the best part. They ratted themselves out again.
The 2-minute warning is coming to college football for both halves.
That's good.
We anticipated this, but it was officially approved today, along with several other rules changes. Coaches can now communicate with one player through their helmet up until 15 seconds left on the play clock, or when the ball is snapped, whichever comes first.
It's just like you can in the NFL, and this eliminates the whole stupid sign stealing sting coming from Michigan.
That's right. Horse collar tackles in the tackle box are now a 15-yard personal foul. And coaches are now, I know you're going to love this one. Coaches are now permitted to do interviews with media partners after the first and third quarters.
So exciting.
So cue the even less important than halftime interview.
Do you think they prefer this to do the one running in or out of the tunnel at half?
I don't think they give two S's. There's still going to be a lot of what? Who
They don't want to
cares?
be there either way.
Victor Rico's Mexican food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Order now at victorricos.com. We're going to listen to some baseball audio coming up next. We've got a pitcher who's pissed off and had a great little interview. And, this Paul Skeens guy, bro. Paul Skeens. Do you know who Paul Skeens is?
Which one's Paul Skeens?
You mean Livy Dunn's boyfriend?
Oh, yeah, the pitcher.
The pitcher.
Former LSU great.
Dude, he's mowing him down.
I haven't seen anything about him other than he was the number 1 overall pick, correct?
I
Yes.
believe he was, yeah.
He's mowing down the tail, too.
Well, Livy Dunn.
Life is good for Paul Skeens.
Yeah, you think he's doing better than Livy Dunn?
Not yet.
But he will.
He will. That's a power couple. Give that couple 5 to 10 if they stay together.
Yeah.
Dude.
The Verlander and...
That's Kelsey and Tay-Tay.
Verlander Upton, yeah.
Verlander Upton, exactly.
Let's not give Livy Dunn T-Swizzle status just yet.
That's true. Is Kate Upton still with?
Yeah.
They've been married since 2017.
They're still together?
They've been married a long time. I've seen the photos.
True love.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What?
What photos?
The marriage photos.
Describe them.
They were lovely. He was in a tux and she was in a wonderful dress. What are you talking about?
Might have also been an iCloud leak.
You're
what?
You're
I saw
Greg
the
Doyle.
I saw the wedding photos.
You're Greg Doyle.
Why? Because I saw wedding photos?
Creep.
Man, who would have thought that wedding photos were so controversial?
Also, Joey Harrington in 10 minutes on the Fan.
Oregon Ducks
returns for story time coming up next. But first, a little bit of audio. You know, it's probably hard when you struggle at your profession and then you have somebody sticking a mic in your face and asking you to talk about your struggles in your profession.
Sure.
I can't imagine that's easy.
Well, it's like being confronted like in a relationship about being a crappy husband, and then, you know,
You get a little defensive.
you get a little defensive. Absolutely.
Well, I've got a couple bits of audio for you.
No one likes being told they suck.
Well, it's not that they're being told that they suck. It's just they know they suck.
Yeah.
They just have to elaborate on why they suck
It's like one of these, hey,
to someone who has no idea why they suck.
yeah, you're terrible. Can you explain why? What happened out there?
Right.
today?
Can you explain why you're such an ass?
It's yeah.
No, I cannot, actually, because I don't think I am.
Yeah, but you are.
So this is Pete Fairbanks of the Tampa Bay Rays. He is their closer, and he has sucked. And this was somebody coming at him about his blown save the other night.
Was it just a matter of command, location, selection, anything specific?
No, I thought it generally sucked. I didn't think it was a specific suck. I thought it was like an all-encompassing type of suck. So, you know, we're going to try and rectify that. But for right now, I'm going to be pretty pissed about it.
Where do you kind of go from here? Is it looking at tape? Is it going through mechanics? Where do you kind of go from here?
You tell me. I've tried that. If you got an answer, I'd love to hear. Just, you know, not going to let it beat me up for, you know, I'll maybe give it till 10. It's 9:44 right now. We'll give it 16 minutes of sulk, and then we'll, you know, get back on the bump and figure it out.
Yeah, just more of like a general, all-encompassing suck.
It's like how when someone asked me how my golf game was, what was wrong with it?
Yeah.
Just a general suck.
It's not really any one thing.
Yeah, it's more of an overall
all-encompassing type of suck.
I think we need to. Can we clip that? Yeah.
Well, he did.
Do we have that
That's
now?
a great drop.
Yeah, that's a great drop.
All-encompassing type of suck.
Type of suck. All-encompassing.
That's a great clip. And
Well,
by the way, kudos to him for leaning into it.
It's great.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. I think they catch these guys. They just catch them at the wrong time. You know, like right after he sucked. That's got to be hard.
Yeah, it's not good. Exactly. What do you want the guy to say? You just
No, I've got another piece of audio. I'm waiting for it.
okay.
Okay, Jace.
I'm waiting.
It's a golfer. Also being confronted on why he sucked.
Oh. Did he handle it quite as well?
I think the golfer is a little more biting than the pitcher. At least this pitcher here, there's a little whimsy in his answers.
He leaned in a little bit, you know.
But the golfer is pissed and being an ass. Paul Skeens, by the way, before we get to Joey, and I'll play this audio here in a sec. Ryan's dumping it in there. But Paul Skeens of the Pirates, he was the number 1 pick in the draft this year.
Yeah, out of LSU. He's got a great mustache.
And that's how he knows Livy Dunn. So they're dating. And he is in the minors. So they've already got him at AAA.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so just he's moving on up.
Instantly to AAA. As a matter of fact, I don't think he went lower than that. Yeah, no, he went straight to AAA as the number 1 pick. He has thrown 12 2/3 innings.
Mm-hmm.
He has 27 strikeouts, and he has given up 5 hits and no runs.
Good grief.
Yeah.
So he's doing just fine.
He's dominating.
Yeah.
He throws 105 miles an hour, dude.
So when is his elbow going to blow?
Yeah, soon. That's why they should get him to the majors.
How hard does he throw, you said?
He can throw 104, 105.
Good grief.
He's filthy good.
Yeah, right until his elbow goes.
And so the Pirates are saying now that they want to build him up. He's not happy about it, but they're saying, hey, we need to build him up more, build his innings up before we bring him up, because they just had an injury to their starting rotation.
Yeah.
And everybody thought, well, Skeens,
here he comes.
Dude, he
clearly
they cannot hit him in the minors. So somebody did a thing yesterday on pitchers that have had this type of performance right away at this high level. Dylan Bundy was one who was dominating in this fashion, and he was not a great starting pitcher in the majors.
Doc, the one I remember, Doc Gooden came into the bigs right away at like 21 and was the best pitcher in baseball.
So it's not a guarantee Skeens is going to be great.
Yeah.
But boy, it's awful hard for them to justify having him at the minor league level right now. And people are calling for. I mean, everybody wants to see him in the majors. He wants to be in the majors. Nobody can hit him.
Well, and that's the thing is like, what if no one in AAA can hit him? What's the point of staying in AAA?
Well, like they're saying, we just want to be careful with him and just build his stamina. So here's Brian. So it's Brian,
he's a big guy too. Like he's not a little guy.
He's 6'6".
Yeah, he's a robust.
And
guy.
Livy Dunn's like 4'6".
Well, it's good for him.
Picture that.
Yeah, not allowed to do that.
That's right.
Yeah, we're trying not to be creepy.
That's right. We're no Greg Doyle.
No.
But she's a spinner. So this is Brian Harmon, the lefty.
The golfer
that everyone hates.
Yeah.
He's just kind of, I don't know, he's kind of always been a little bristly.
The waggle. He's known for the waggle.
Yes, he won the British Open last year. Here was his interview after his round today.
All right, Brian, not the way you wanted to end it there. How would you assess your round overall?
Played good except the last 2 holes.
Yeah. What did you do in between the week of the Masters and coming down here?
Went home. Not much. Spent the weekend at home with my family.
Okay. Can you walk us through the birdies you had on 3, 6, and...
Chipped in on 3. Made an 8-footer on 6, I guess. 10-footer on 9, and made a 15-footer on 13.
Okay, can you walk us through the last hole there?
No.
Okay.
Good, thanks.
God.
I kind of enjoyed that,
It's
too.
kind of like when, I think it's Sevi. Let's see. Yeah, it was Sevi. When they asked him, Sevi Ballesteros.
Yeah.
They asked him, Sevi, how did you 4-putt? And he said, I miss, I make. It's like that.
I just love.
Walk us through your birdies. Well, I made a putt on 9, chipped in on, it's like, I don't know.
Someone commented he used 43 words in 45 seconds.
Well, the questions were bad, too. It's like.
That dude knew he was hung out to dry after the first one,
Yes.
and then he tried to lob him the softball,
Yeah.
and Harmon wasn't swinging.
What'd you do between the Masters and, I don't know, hung out with my family.
Oh, that's good
All
times.
right, Brian, not the way you wanted to end it.
All right, coming up next, Joey Harrington. Here's Buck.
Now,
one of 7. I have a pair. Tinker had a pair. Now, he gave it to raffle off, and it's the only one that he's done. So there's some Holy Grail fun story time.
Yeah, that's some
wow.
If you're a sneakerhead, do you have a pair of the pit crew, like the Jordan 3s? Did you ever get a pair?
I do. I do have a pair of the pit crews.
Yeah.
I was the founding the first founding member of the pit crew.
That's why I figured you had a pair. For non-sneakerheads like that, like that pair that went to the original founders of the pit crew, like those on the secondary market go for like 30 G's. Like it's the rarer you get, it's like anything else. The rarer you get, it's people get a little excited about that. So when you're talking about 1 of 6 or 1 of 7, this is a really cool opportunity for sneakerheads to get some really, really limited edition shoes.
Well, the cool thing that I remember was it Union Gospel Mission a couple months ago?
Yeah.
That had the pair
Lee.
show up, the gold. And they took them to Tinker for authentication to make sure everything was real, and had some ideas about what they should do with them. And he's like, no, I'd send them to like Sotheby's auction house or something.
Yeah.
I think they got like $50,000 for them.
Yeah, Spike Lee had a pair of Jordans. I don't remember what number they were, but he had a pair of Jordans that he had made up for him for the Oscars. Gold Jordans. I want to say they were 3s or 4s. But yeah, and they showed up at the Gospel Mission. Somehow someone dropped them off. And so someone was like, yeah, you might want to go ahead and do something with those.
Yeah. I'm gonna, how do I say this I'm going to go ahead and say that they weren't just accidentally dropped in a donation basket.
Probably not.
How about that? How about let's say this is the community taking care of the community.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool that we can do this with sneakers, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So $40 raffle tickets. Where do people go, and how long do they have to get the tickets?
HarringtonFamilyFoundation.org. To my Twitter. What is my Twitter account? At Joey something or Joey3 Harrington. Yeah, remember I'm a social media influencer.
You are. You're a big deal.
We're just gonna push it out everywhere. You'll be able to find it. Just
at
click
Joey3 Harrington.
Yeah, at Joey3 Harrington.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks. In 2 weeks, you'll have a diamond.
2 weeks.
So you have 2 weeks. You can buy as many as you want, right?
You could buy I think we have to cap it, because technically it's gambling and we have to set your odds of winning. But, I think it's capped at like 5,000 tickets. Last year, I think we sold like 750 tickets.
Well, let's get
maybe
more.
1,000.
Okay.
So really, your odds are pretty dang good for $40. And if you buy 2 tickets, then your odds are twice as good.
I have an old man question because I understand none of this. Do you wear the shoes that you got?
I don't.
Yeah.
Really?
You do?
Yeah.
Of course, they're shoes.
Yeah, see, that's what I think. But a lot of people would laugh at me for asking that question.
I wear mine. I wear mine out about. I have like 2 or 3 pair that I save for like nicer weather days, but I don't have anything that's rare. But if you wear a pair of these out, that's
baller.
You've got some. Yeah, those are some stones.
That's baller.
That's a baller move.
Also, conversation starter for those who notice.
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Well, so I did a podcast yesterday. It's going to come out this week for in promotion of the raffle, and we're going through some of my sneakers, and pulled the ones out that the Harrington Family Foundation ones, and I wear them, and there's a pretty decent scuff on them. So, but it's like, he was like, "Oh my God, there's a scuff," and I was like, "Oh my God, they're shoes. Like you're supposed to wear them." Like
that's refreshing.
What happens when you wear shoes.
That's right. Yeah. They're shoes. Put them on your feetsies.
Yeah, except they're 1 of 6 Jordans, though.
Come on, man.
Somewhere, some sneakerhead is just staring a hole.
Yeah, what are you going to do with them? Put them in a closet?
Well, for some people, yes, they do.
That's weird to me.
Yeah.
That's why I don't get
Well,
the
it's
whole
like people
thing.
that collect like toys or whatever, and they don't play with them.
Yeah, but toys aren't supposed to be on your feet.
But you're supposed to play with
protect
Okay,
your.
but here's the thing too. Okay, I can understand if I'm going to buy something as an investment, right?
Yes.
So I win this pair of Jordans and I have it as an investment to I'm going to hold on to it for 20 years, and then I'm going to sell it for $40,000 and send my kids to college. I get that, right? But that's not my situation. My situation was I was gifted something from the kindness of somebody's heart to do something with this to make other people's lives better. And here's your pair. So how much of a jerk would I be if I was like, yeah, that pair that you gave me, I'm going to hold on to it, and I'm going to sell that. I'm going to sell that one, and I'm going to send my kid to college. No, I'm going to wear them because it was a gift, and it was an incredibly kind gift from an incredibly thoughtful person who's trying to take care of the community. So there you go.
Okay.
Well, just know that right now, like the pit crew Jordans that we were talking that he has a pair, right now on the secondary market, those are about $22,000 for a well-worn pair.
Wow. Oh my God!
But people are asking $22,000. Nobody's paying more than like $4 or $5.
Is that all?
Well,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's all.
All right. Well, do you want to talk about Augusta?
Yes. Tell me all about it.
I'm going to. I'm gonna. We have to break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about my white privilege.
It is. It is very white, and it is very privileged.
Yeah, but there's only so much I can tell you.
What's the worldwide weasel? That's what it is. Yeah. We're gonna brainstorm on this a little bit more.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Suk and I had some good info or some good thoughts about doing a children's miracle network for college football players.
Okay, well, suddenly a lot to get to. We'll be right back with our friend Joey Harrington with Storytime here on 1080 The Fan.
It's time for a Ducks Report, the inside story on Oregon athletics, brought to you by Mods PDX. The future of building is here.
Well, do you like transfer portal news, Isaac? Because I've got some for the Oregon Hoops team.
Yes, give it to me.
Apparently, Oregon named as a top school for Villanova transfer guard TJ Bamba. So if Dana Altman looking to replenish a little bit, maybe TJ Bamba's the guy from Villanova.
Why don't they just go get all the Duke players that left?
That's an idea as well. I think they should consider it.
Duke West.
Yeah,
Mods PDX, the future of building is here.
The Fan is live on YouTube, Twitch, and now Window Nation brings you the window into the Fan. On-demand YouTube video shorts with your favorite fan shows and hosts. The window into the Fan is brought to you by Window Nation. Get 50% off all styles of windows. Plus, pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years at windownation.com. Watch Window Nation's Window into the Fan every day on YouTube with 1080.
Peekaboo!
The Fan.
The Fan 411.
Log on to the contest page at 1080thefan.com now for your last chance to win a pair of tickets to see Amon Amarth, the Metal Crushes All Tour, Friday, April 26th at the Alaska Airlines Theater of the Clouds. Details on how to enter can be found at 1080thefan.com. And download the free Odyssey app and favorite 1080 The Fan for exclusive content from fan hosts, easy access to fan podcasts, and more.
That's the Fan 411.
Hey, it's Dusty. When my family and I are in a time crunch or just want a delicious meal, our go-to is always Victor Rico's Mexican food. My favorite is the Northwest Burrito. My kids love the rolled tacos. With several area locations, it's easy to pick up Victor Rico's. Order online now at victorricos.com or on the mobile app.
Auto accident? Need a loaner today? Call Lafe's Auto Collision Centers. We can get you into a replacement vehicle as early as today. At Lafe's, we work with all insurance companies. We process your claim fast, repair your vehicle to pre-loss, bill direct, and get you back on the road hassle-free. Need your vehicle picked up? Call Lafe's and we'll send out one of our fleet flatbed trucks to your home or office anywhere in the Northwest. Lafe's Auto Collision, the industry leader for 33 years, locally owned, the finest in collision repair.
Seems we're through the worst of the bad weather. Time to dust off those wrenches. It's Rop. Next time you get back out there for golf, join me at my course, Langdon Farms. No better spot in the Northwest year-round. Book your tee time at langdonfarms.com.
Hey, I'm Brett Podolsky,
co-founder of The Farmer's Dog. We make fresh food for dogs. We started the company when we saw what a huge difference it made in my own dog, Jada, when she stopped eating ultra-processed kibble and started eating fresh, whole food. The Farmer's Dog food isn't fancy. It's just real food delivered to your door in pre-portioned packs. It's better for them and easier for you.
Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/radio. That's thefarmersdog.com/radio.
Get the one and done you want for your dog's monthly protection. NexGard Plus, Afoxolon or Moxidectin and Pyrantel chewable tablets. Protects against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms. All in one delicious, beef-flavored soft chew. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Dogs should be tested for existing heartworm infection prior to starting a preventive. Ask your vet about NexGard Plus chews.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Story time with Joey on 1080 The Fan.
All right, we're back with our friend Joey Harrington. We got the shoes discussed, and now Augusta National. Hello, friends. Have you ever been?
Hello, friends. I went, my dad and I were just talking about this. I went 02, 03, 04,
I thought I had one.
No.
I thought I had one on him.
No. Has he been? He just rattled. I asked him.
02, 04.
I asked him that last week too, and he had to sit there and rattle him off.
Damn it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I may have one on you, and I can only say so much. But wait, the last year you were there was 2008?
Correct. That was Trevor Immelman.
Oh, okay. My buddy was there that year.
It was a pretty boring Sunday.
Was it? So was this one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
This was built in 2012, and this is all I can tell you is research Berkman's place. I was invited into Berkman's place, and let me tell you something. I've never seen anything like. There is nothing like it in sports. Let's put it that way. So I do have one on you.
B-I or B-E?
Berckman, Berkman's place. It's named after, I think the Berkman family was the original family that owned the land that Augusta National Golf Club sits on, and they were, I forget what they were growing there, but that's the original.
You don't want to look into that family, by the way. If they owned that land back in the day, you don't want to do that.
Well, I think they're wonderful.
Wait, hold on. Berkman's place, what is it, and how do you get there? Behind the VIP area at the Masters?
Yeah. And look, just do it on your own time.
Area at the Masters?
I was invited, and dude, there's nothing like it. Okay, here's one little nugget.
You can't just stop there.
But I kind of have to. Look, I shouldn't have brought
it. Is it like an NDA kind of thing?
Dude, yes.
Like if you say something, then like some guy's gonna pop out of the woodwork and like slice your throat, or what do you?
It's called discretion, okay? And I have it.
Not often, but
yeah,
when it comes to the
only
Masters,
in this instance.
only in this instant, yes.
No, I got really lucky to get invited, but it's incredible. The two little bits of information. One, Peyton Manning was the greeter. My new close personal friend, Peyton Manning, was just greeting people as they walked in. And two, they have replica greens of 7, 14, and 16. They are the exact same size, and they are running at the exact same stemp as they are at the Masters. And when you walk in, they hand you a $500 putter and a little ball with a Masters logo on it. Real Augusta National caddies are standing there, and they whisk you onto the greens and have you putt. So you get a feel for what it's like to actually putt on the real greens. And let me tell you something, dude. I knew it was hard. I've been there. The Masters, we've all watched it. We know how hard it is. We know how undulated the greens are. We know how slick they are. It's a whole nother level to get a feel for actually putting the ball. Like there was one where, the hole's way down to the left. It's probably a 25-foot putt. The kid says, "Where are you going to hit this?" I said, I'm going to hit it about right there. And he goes, No. Hit it at my feet way over here. He's like 15 feet to the right. And I have to hit a 25-foot putt about 3 feet. And it's just going to curl down to the hole. Like it's just, dude,
Did they have the mounds on 14,
Yes.
the two mounds like right in front?
Yep. It's all there.
They're like 6 feet tall, aren't they?
Well,
Those things are massive.
The 14 is the 2-tiered, right? I think it's two-tiered. But I can't remember exactly what the green looks like. But yeah, they're exact replicas.
Someone asked the question, and no, we can get back to more of the NDAs that Rob had to sign. But while you were gone, this was floating around Twitter where someone posed the question: if you had to play the Masters and you got to start from the green, right? Like everyone else has to play the tee. Like you're playing against Scotty Scheffler and everyone else, and they're playing their regular round. You get to start on the green, but you start from the furthest place from the hole. Wherever the hole is at, wherever the furthest, you are on the fringe of the green. And all you have to do is putt. You're starting the green. Do you win the Masters?
So,
Rob?
So I need to shoot...
11?
What was he, 11 or 12 under?
11 or 12. So on any given time, you're somewhere between, 8 to 15 under.
18 holes.
You have to four-putt. You have to four-putt most of the greens.
Yes.
I have to be under a 4-putt for a few of them.
You got to four-putt all the greens, and you have to 3-putt a few.
A few of them. Ooh.
Could you win the Masters starting from the green?
And I know the greens from TV, but I haven't been able to practice.
You've never played them?
Oh, no. You know the greens because you've been on the replicas. You're the only one who knows, this is story time with Rob now. You're the only one who has firsthand, tangible experience putting on Augusta greens.
Yeah, I thought it was. That's what made me think about it is because you have putted on the greens.
It's an amazing question.
Yeah.
Hold on, story time with Isache. Oh no, that's what it was at the Copa Isache. Right?
Yeah, we've rebranded Club 1080 to go along with your rebrand. It's now Copa Isache.
I love that. So I would have said before putting on replica greens at Augusta National, I would have said, of course I can do that.
Yeah.
But after having putted there, I don't think I could do that.
Interesting.
Dude, it is really, 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 really hard. And some of those putts, we watched a few holes where those guys, a guy like me would, if you miss it by 2 feet, you're now chipping.
Yeah.
Like, now what do you do? Now you're off the green.
You're off the green.
So I got to put that back up there, and there's another 3-putt. Like, dude, no, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I win the Masters.
Interesting.
No,
that's
how good those guys are.
Starting from the green.
Yeah, dude. No, I don't think. Joey, do you think you could? I don't think I could.
I don't. I'm trying to think of so the pin is on. Let's say the pin is on the front shelf on 9, and so that means you're all the way on the back tee. You're on the third tier back on 9.
Yes.
So you have to trickle. And it's like
you can't hold the green.
First to waterfall it over the second to hope it stays on the green. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you think about some of these placements, and like I was saying, the mounds, those 2 mounds on the front of 14, as you're standing on the front of the green, like before you get up there, they're like 6 feet tall. Yeah. Like this thing is and they funnel everything down to that front edge and off the front.
Yeah.
So again, like if you miss to one side, you get funneled off the green.
Yeah, I don't think so, man.
So that was me. I immediately was like, not only would I not win the Masters, but I don't know if I make the cut. And of course, every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's ever picked up a golf club is like, what are you talking about? Green jacket. And I'm like, oh, okay.
No.
Sure, you keep telling yourself that.
Yeah, Joey's right. It's just hard to it's hard to put into words. But that's why those guys always talk about, like, you have to miss in the right spots.
Yes.
If you miss in the wrong spots, and you're saying you're starting at pretty much the wrong spot on every green.
Furthest
you're dead. You're dead. That's why that tournament's great.
Oh my God. Trying to think about some of those, the green on 3, like that tiny little green that just like slides down into the bunker.
That was one I was thinking of where I think if you hit it by a foot,
you're in the bunker.
You're off. Yeah. You're off the back of the green.
Yeah. If you're on the high side, like that thing is flying. So where were you sitting? Okay, we're going to come back.
Okay.
We're going to revisit the what's it? Birkenstock Place? What's it called?
It's called Berkman's Place. It's the most incredible.
We'll come back to that. We'll have an entire show about this.
I can't tell you much more.
Oh, we're going to get it out of you. I want to know where you were sitting. You had
Yeah.
one round at Augusta. So,
Yeah.
Well,
we
where
walked.
did you choose to sit?
We walked the whole course, but as you know, you buy chairs at the beginning and then you set them where you want to sit later when you get tired. We put ours right behind the flag, just a little bit behind and left if you're at the front of the green looking back at the flag on 16. And the highlight of the day, we happened to be sitting there.
Wait, hold on. You were on the hill?
So you know where the bunker is on 16. So it's
Correct.
the par 3. So you got the bunker, and the flag is right behind the bunker. And it's that area, for those that are novices, it's that area where Tiger hit that famous chip.
Where Tiger rolled it in.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were sitting on that
Back
side
there.
over there.
Back there, yeah, because it's shaded back there, and we were about third row. Here's a pro tip: if you ever go to the Masters, make sure your seats when you set them down are just slightly elevated over the ones in front of you, because once it gets full, it's hard to see around all those fat heads.
And then you can't stand up
And you don't want to stand up. Yeah. So anyway, it was kind of hard to see, but the coolest moment that happened while we were sitting back there was Tiger nearly holing out of the bunker on 16. But once the leaders came through on 16 on Sunday, it was all but over. Scheffler birdied it, and that was cool. But the tournament was in hand, so we sat there. Another really cool place, and you may agree with this, is 3 on the corner of 3 green. You can watch them tee off on the par 3 4th. That's a pretty cool spot. And then I thought one of the best places is 13, the par 5 over the water. If you're standing on the other side of 14 green, there's a grandstand there. We never went to the grandstands. We were just walking. But if you're standing there, you can watch the balls come in on 13 and then watch them tee off on 14. And there's not a lot of people over there, and it's very shaded. So those were my favorite places on the course. How about you?
We would sit. So most, you have to walk the place. You have to walk it. And so we would go, those years we'd go for all 4 rounds. And so we'd take a day and we'd spend an entire day walking. Or then we'd take a day and we'd walk the morning and post up. The places that I thought had the best, we would post on Sunday in the grandstands as high left as you can on 15.
15, yeah.
Because
then
you can watch everything coming in on 15, and there's going to be some drama on a par 5 with the water, and then you can sit and watch them tee off on 16.
Yeah.
You can watch the whole 16th hole.
That's probably the best spot on the whole course right there.
Well, I was going to say, if you can get a spot, there are a few spots in the grandstand on 12 where you can see the approaches coming in on 11, you can see the 12th hole, and you can see them heading out 13. So that's the key, is to try and find a spot where you can get multiple vantage points.
I found 12 a little overrated only because it's way over the water and you can't really see back there.
True. That's why my point is, you could also see the 11 and you could see some of the tee balls on 13.
Rob found the just normal Augusta experience a bit overrated. Once you've been to super secret VIP places, he sloughs off the number 12 and
Okay. Wait, no. So here's my it's story time, right? So here's the Augusta story time. My dad and I went in 2004 in Arnold Palmer's last year. And we're walking up 11. This is before they had Tiger-proofed 11. And everybody would just bail out to the right? Did you walk? So you're walking up 11. And it's just trees all up the right side now, right?
Well, they've changed it. They've taken some out on the right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be completely just once you got up about 200 yards past off the tee box, it used to open up all the way to the right. And so people would bail. And so this was Arnold Palmer's last year, and we just happened to be walking, we're kind of doing a stroll through the course, and this ball goes bump, 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 bounces right by my feet. And it just comes to a stop, and, everybody runs over, like people do at golf tournaments. So I was like, Dad, let's stand here, see who shows up. Sure enough, strolling down the fairway comes Arnie, the king.
Oh, gosh.
And he walks up to the ball, And he looks at it, in the fairway, and he's not hitting the ball very far at this point. And the Masters they'd done a great thing in his final round, taken all of his scores off the leaderboard. So as he was going around, just said Palmer, and it didn't post his score. But you could tell he was tired, and he was ready to call it a day. And he walks up and looks at his ball buried in the rough, and looks at 11, and he goes, Jesus. Who wants to go back to the clubhouse and get a drink? And everybody was like, yeah, let's do it. And
That's awesome.
And he grabs a 5-iron or whatever it is and just goes whack and takes a cut at this thing, boom, boom, runs it right up onto the front of the green, and the place went absolutely crazy.
Those guys are nuts. I have a very similar story with Phil Mickelson. Standing on 10, watching the shots on 10, we hear a ball hit behind us. Well, that's the trees on 18. And so we're like, oh, let's see who this is, because we can't see who hit it. And up saunters Phil Mickelson. He's like 100 yards ahead of his caddy. His caddy's like running to catch him. This is on Friday. He is going to miss the cut, so he's on his last hole. That dude wants out of there so bad, much like Arnie. Doesn't say a word. His caddy is like racing up to get him a club. He doesn't worry about yardage. He tells him nothing. He grabs a club, whacks it, and it freaking flies all the way out of there over the trees. I don't think he hit the green, but he got it completely out of there. And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't hit that shot in 100 tries. And he did it without even caring.
He's like, whatever.
And then his jet was probably fueled up, ready to go. He putts out, makes bogey, and he's out of there.
Thanks for coming.
Freaking those guys, man. Well, it's an awesome experience.
It is. Are we out of time? Is that the...
Yeah, we're getting close, but let's squeeze in one more.
Okay, one more. So we're following Padraig when he was tied for the lead. Would have been I think it might have been 04. And so on 18, he yanks one left of the TV tower. And he's behind the TV tower having to play back over the top. And, they rush around and crowd it. He looks at this thing, and he hits a wedge, flops this thing over the top of Jim Nance, and drops it, 3 feet from the pin. Taps his par and goes on. Yeah, I think he finished 4th that year. But what happened is he hit this incredible wedge shot, and this divot just flies through the air and boom, lands right at my feet. As everybody's going crazy, I pick up the divot and I put it in my pocket. And later on that night, I was like, hey, I've got your divot. Can you sign, we were at dinner. I was like, hey, could you sign a flag to my dad? I'm going to frame the divot with the flag. And I'm going to get a picture of you hitting that shot. So I got it framed, and then I lost the divot.
Oh, dude.
What? What happened to the divot?
I thought you were going to say Augusta National tackled you.
Exactly. I thought they were going to tell you you weren't allowed to take it.
Oh, I'm sure they would tell me that, but that's probably what happened. It was in the back of my car. It was in the trunk of my car. I just had it stuck, and somebody probably came in and they broke into my car and they stole it. There was probably GPS tracking on the grass.
I guarantee there was.
That would have been so cool.
That club does not mess around, man. That place is so.
Let me tell you about the time I went to the Master. Oh wait. Yeah, I don't have one.
Your day will come.
I haven't been.
Your day will come. All right. Well, there's story time with me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was at Rose City the other day, though, and hit a beautiful 5-iron. Let me tell you, the course was in immaculate shape. It's the same thing.
Frame that divot.
There we go. We're at the Copa Esache.
Thank you.
Where
you so much.
stories they're told just at the Copa. You're supposed to go to break now. It's like you fade out. Okay, bye.
All right, bye, Joey. Thank you. Mods PDX, the future of building, is here. Club 1080 is next on The Fan.
Hey, it's Suk for A&E Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Before getting a new train system installed,
I'm really rich. China. You're like my poor. I'm old. I am dying.
Well, I really enjoy the show. Thank you. Bye.
I'm gay. I'm gay. I'm gay.
Rocking you on a Friday. Why did I say that?
My son is an idiot.
What is Colorado Rocky?
Yeah.
All right, pleased to have you along here for a club hour, Friday club hour, where we're going to get wasted.
Really?
On the air.
All right.
I got you, babe. I got you, babe.
The Chicago Bulls are getting wasted by the Miami Heat.
Saw that.
The Heat are now chanting, we want Boston. No, you're going to get them.
No, you don't.
Yeah. You're going to get them without Jimmy Butler.
Watch him beat him.
I'll tell you what. If the Butlerless Heat beat the Celtics, I would laugh my ass off.
I would be rooting for that.
100%.
Hard.
Boston's so good. To lose to no Jimmy Butler. Oh, let's go.
Come on.
I'm reading about this dude. Man set himself on fire outside of the Trump.
Yeah.
The trial today.
And I can't tell.
He's very dead now.
It's super dead. Like, he didn't just, like, there's, I say there's level to homelessness. You got like you got the people that are on hard times, and then you got like the most homeless you can be, and then you got like go-getter homeless. I saw a homeless guy out here with a boat motor. And I wonder if it's the same guy that stole the boat trailer. What is a homeless person doing with a boat motor?
Pretty soon he's going to be living that boat life.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to steal a boat, and he's going to put the motor on it.
And again, I wanted to be like, hey, are you the guy I saw stealing a boat trailer on your bicycle? Which to this day, I'm still impressed with.
He's got the trailer, he's got the motor, he just needs a boat now.
Yeah, but he had his tent set up, and it didn't look like he had a lot of stuff, but he did have what appeared to be a fairly decent-looking boat motor. I was like, how does that happen? So there's different levels of crazy. This man is as crazy as it can be, because he didn't just kind of light himself on fire. He went full Monty and just Human Torch ablaze.
What was the protest? Or what was
I don't know. I'm reading through his manifesto, and I can't tell if he's anti-Trump or just anti-everybody. He's a government conspiracy guy.
Okay.
And he has a manifesto, and it does read that we are the victims of a totalitarian con, and our own government, along with many of their allies, is about to hit us with an apocalyptic fascist world coup. And then on the back of his car, it says...
What do you think that looks like?
I don't know. Well, and he might be able to tell us, but, well, the flames...
An apocalyptic
fascist world
coup.
Yeah. So he talks about, again, it's hard to understand. Like, they found his car, and the car says Trump is with Hillary. So it's like, he doesn't like Trump, but he doesn't like anybody. So he goes on to cite, he's got a conspiracy, and it involves the government, crypto.
Oh, crypto.
Yeah, crypto's involved in it. Social media is involved in it.
There's a big Bitcoin halving today. Did you see that?
Well, that may have something to do with it.
Somebody said that he also threw a bunch of papers or pamphlets into the air that said NYU is a mob front.
Yeah. Man. So he wants everyone to know, and he thinks the Clintons are in on it, the Bushes.
Yeah. All right. I get the line of thinking.
The line of thinking.
What is his... I guess he doesn't have to worry about it.
He doesn't have to worry about it. The fascist coup is no longer his concern.
It's your and I's problem.
Yes. Says that I hope you know how powerful you are. I wish you a hell of a lot of more luck than me.
Is that Trump?
I don't know. That's the end of the manifesto. Again, I'm skimming through the manifesto because it's a lot. Ooh, by the way, well, this might be old.
I'm really rich.
It says that he might be alive. Just in
he lived?
Critical condition?
Oh, damn. Wow.
He ain't living.
It's over!
Yeah.
We think.
Yeah. When you suffer burns like that, you know, that's a matter of time. But anyway.
What happened in the trial today?
Some gas, it sounds like.
Yeah, the report is that Trump, early on people were saying that he was falling asleep.
Yeah.
Early on. Yeah. And now I guess he's
Sleepy Joe.
I guess now
Sleepy
he's
Dawn.
falling asleep and he's ripping heaters. I guess he's farting in the trial.
What is who? I mean,
I don't.
Who said that? Like, is there
multi-
media?
Yeah, well, no, they're not allowed. There's no cameras allowed in there, but people are allowed to cover it.
Observers were saying it was very clear his legal team was off-put by gas that he had passed.
Fantastic.
Look,
What?
I know no one
the
here.
best thing he's ever done.
Like, you like him or not, I'm sorry, but that man ripping farts in court, if that's true, that's fantastic. Like right in the middle, like of an important trial moment, he's just over there
and falling asleep.
What the hell,
It's
man?
never been more relatable.
God, I would give anything for this thing to be on TV. Why isn't this filmed? Let's go. Judge Judy, make it happen.
So who is in the court? When you say observers, like who?
Well, you can go in. Like there's
I know, but
reporters
who?
and stuff.
Oh, media's in there?
Yeah, there's media in there, but you can't. And that's why they have like the sketch artists. Not every trial is allowed to be televised. I think that might be up to the judge.
Well, I know there's a sketch artist.
Yeah.
And I know there's a stenographer or whatever they call them.
Yeah. Doing a little
But who's in
shorthand
the
of-
back? Like, like, is that family? Is Barron sitting in there?
No, Barron is he's getting ready to have a birthday. I don't know.
I mean, which trial even is this? He's got like 5 of them.
This
Which
is
one
the
is this?
Stormy Daniels one.
Is she in there? Or, like,
Yeah,
is-
well,
The
it's-
Stormy Hush Money one, right?
She's
I
hanging
would
out in there?
assuming she's hanging out in there. I'm assuming she's going to have to testify at some point. Although if you testify, you're not. I learned this when I had to testify against the squatter. Also set the house on fire. You're not allowed to. If you're going to be a witness, you're not allowed to sit in on the
Yeah,
trial.
you have to.
Yeah, you got.
They only just bring
Yeah,
you
they
in
bring
for
you
your
in
part.
and then they give you the heave.
So she's not in there.
I'm assuming she's going to testify because, well, she's the one that he stooped. So I would assume she's going
She's
to
the
testify.
one that she's the one that said he had a penis like a mushroom.
I believe that was the case, and had magazines of himself. Hey, man.
It's good stuff.
I also love too, like Stormy Daniels and like the other one was like Karen McDougal, the Playboy gal that was stooping him. Like they all act like it's like disgusting. You did it. You're like, well, he was pretty gross, and you still slept with him. I mean, what does that say about you? Well, you star effer.
I think she's certainly admitted that she's a bit of a sleut.
I mean, come on.
Over the
That's
years.
you're like, I met this old bag. She was like 70 and disgust. Yeah, I stooped her, but you know what? It was she's gross.
Well,
What does
sometimes
that
you gotta
make-
sometimes you gotta do it for the country.
What does that make you?
Are you kidding me?
Not act like
Well, look, let's not
Jesus.
act like Stormy Daniels has credibility here.
That's a valid point.
All right.
Did you see the thing that Kimmel did where he like had her on and brought out like a bunch of different sized and shaped mushrooms and like which one?
What?
And had her point to
We're
it?
doing that?
Yeah.
I missed that bit. I'm gonna have to look that up.
I'm watching it right now. I can send it to you.
I missed that too. Somehow I missed that one.
All right.
Yeah, boy.
Are there really more problems than ever on airplanes? The actual numbers. Next on The Fan.
The home of dirt and spray.
We did the thing for years where we tried to entice ourselves into the idea that CJ and Dame can win at the highest level, and we didn't pick a path. We never got aggressive. That's what I'm most tired of as a fan. It's not just the rebuild. It's not the tanking. It's not just
Notice that every time someone does this, and it does happen from time to time, none of them...
Yeah, they don't do
They don't back out of it.
No, they don't
Like,
do
they're not, put me out. I mean, they just, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I don't know how that works. I just wonder, like, I often have my mind think about that. When someone does something so incredibly stupid, I guess I just can't stop myself from wondering what goes through your mind in that moment. It's like when you're in an argument with your significant other and you say something, and the moment it leaves your mouth, you're like, oh, you're like, damn it.
I did that today.
Right? Like, it's just,
Oh no.
you don't mean for it to like, you know, as you're doing it, this is dumb. So you're there, you covered himself in gasoline or whatever substance he was dumped on himself. I'm assuming gasoline. And you light it, and in that brief moment, like as the light goes up, you're like, hey, should I? And then, whoops.
Well, we did the story not long ago about the dude in the Beaverton who accidentally did it. He was like a paint huffer or something like that, and he tried to light a cigarette or something like that, and he just went up.
Yeah, you can't.
So then he just lets it happen?
I mean,
that's the guy that's like, stop, drop, and roll.
I think at that point you can't stop, drop, and roll. I think stop, drop, and roll is like if your pant leg catches on fire.
You gotta try, man. What are you gonna do? Hey, pee on me? Like, I don't know. What?
I don't.
How are you gonna? If you're on fire, how are you gonna put yourself out?
You don't, and that's the thing. When you're a big flaming ball of gasoline, you don't. And that's the other one. I wonder, like, well, he's unconscious, but do you even want to wake up at that point? I'm guessing you don't, because I'm pretty sure that the rest of your life is spent in horrible, horrible misery. So, like, can you do a do not resuscitate?
Oh, no.
I'm going to light myself on fire sort of vibe. Like, you leave it in the manifesto. You're like, hey, by the way, in case I don't die, don't bring me back.
So he is or isn't alive?
They're saying, the reports are vague, but they're saying when he got to the hospital, he was in critical condition, but was alive. But when you have those kind of burns, it's almost impossible. Like the organs and the swelling and all that, you can't. He's done.
Ever since the shocking incident in which a door plug fell out of a Boeing 737 MAX 9.
That does seem to be, that's an appropriate term for it. Shocking.
It was shocking.
Well, you're flying and someone literally had the seat next to them I guess the wall next to them gone. You don't expect that.
In midair.
Yeah.
Ever since then, many flyers have been jumpy. Their fears have been fueled by news sites that have been serving up incident after incident. So we have we
did have the whistleblower that said under no circumstances would he put a family member on one of those planes.
Yeah, and then he killed himself, allegedly.
Allegedly.
We had the MAX 8 sliding off the runway in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
We had a 737 in Houston making an emergency return after flames were spotted spewing out of an engine.
Yeah.
There was one in Newark reporting stuck rudder pedals. There was one plane that lost a tire after takeoff from San Francisco. There was a 777 making an emergency landing in L.A. with a suspected mechanical issue, and so on and so on.
Well, we did have the two at least. Was it? It might have been three. I know there was at least two of those Maxes where the flight system went screwy and they crashed and died.
Yeah.
Everyone on board.
That was when it originally came out. This is all since the door plug.
I know, but let's not.
They fixed that.
Let's not discount the same plane that killed a couple hundred people.
Yeah, I feel like we ignore that because we're like, a little faulty out of the gate, but they got it right.
They're fine now. Same plane.
So what is actually, this is from Vox, what is actually happening? Are more planes having incidents than ever before, or are we just hearing about more incidents? Minor aviation incidents with few or no injuries, like those listed momentarily a minute ago, above, happen constantly. They just don't make the news. The National Transportation Safety Board, which investigates aviation incidents and accidents, lists 12 incidents on commercial aircraft in the United States so far this year. Last year, during the same time period, you want to guess how many incidents there were?
12.
13.
Now, I understand, but did one of those involve a plane door coming off mid-flight?
That does seem a little bit more extreme than...
Yeah, I get there's a difference between losing a tire and an engine falling apart and then the door coming off.
Yes, but it says few or no injuries. Few? I mean, if a couple people get hurt, like, that's not good, man.
Oh. The only reason the door came off.
No one got hurt.
Only because they weren't up high enough yet.
Well, they didn't get hurt.
I'm not willing to
Look,
give
it's
anyone,
not good.
I'm not willing to give anyone a pass when I got whistleblowers committing suicide and doors coming off.
But from 2010 to 2023, there were on average 36 incidents a year. We're about a third of the way through the year, so we're having a more or less totally mundane year as far as the rate of incidents serious enough to warrant an investigation goes.
Interesting. So nothing to see here. Everything's fine.
I mean, it's the same normal level of incompetence. You know, because like none of those things really should happen.
No.
Right?
Although, to be fair.
But we're just normalizing 36 times a year. Like, something weird's going to go on.
You have several tons of metal bird fighting Earth's gravity to leave the crust and land some. I would assume that.
Yeah, but how many of those were preventable? You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Like the door plug thing, totally preventable.
Totally preventable. Yeah.
I would imagine, you know, all the checks and balances in between flights, like, I feel like all the stuff should have been caught. Pretty much all the stuff should have been caught. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if a wheel is about to, if you think it has a chance to fall off, the plane should not be in the air.
Yeah, it's
and they check over all that stuff.
It's a valid point, but you're gonna get some mishaps. I mean, no offense, because it's my Carney theory. I'm not saying that airline mechanics and people are carnival, but it's like, you know, you see. The machines are still maintained by humans, and we all know that humans are like not the most reliable things on the planet. And so you get one guy out there that's not taking his job seriously, and he decides to give something a rubber stamp, and the next thing you know, the wheel falls off. Right?
I mean, there's going to be human error for sure.
Yeah.
But I think for something so important,
Well, and there really is a good safe, like airline flight has an amazing track record for safety.
I don't feel unsafe.
Well, it's scarier, but at the same time, you're way, way more likely to have something happen to you on the ground than you are up in the air. I mean, big planes don't go down. It's not like it's the space shuttle or anything. Like, that's a whole, like that. That's supposed to fail. They say it's like 1 out of every 15 launches. Like, statistically speaking, that thing's supposed to blow up. That shouldn't happen on airplanes. And very rarely does it. But even though we're willing to overlook that with these MAX planes, whatever, at least 2 of those did crash and kill everyone, and everyone kind of threw their hands up and was like, "Man, it doesn't happen very often."
Yeah, you do kind of feel like more should have been made of that.
I feel like, yes. Like, they did something that like, I don't know what the settlement was, but like they set pilots up unaware of a new feature that could crash and kill the plane and didn't tell anyone. Yeah. And at least 2 entire planes crashed because of it, and everyone died. How did no one go to jail over that?
Well, how is it? Okay, all of that, couldn't agree more. But also think about, okay, after 1, how is there a second?
Yeah.
Right?
You would think.
It wasn't on the same day.
No, like lesson learned. Wrong.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and it was all, you want to talk, that's 100% preventable. And they just really
the second one was.
Yeah, well, so was the first.
Well, it was, but I just mean, like, once you know the problem that took down the first one, there's no way you can let a second one happen.
And yet it did.
And yet,
it did. Yeah. And like, I feel like there was no real, like, everyone just was like, like someone should, like,
new plane.
How people don't go to jail for that stuff is beyond me.
I know.
Like a company that's worth like $8 gajillion writes a little check, and then we're like, hey, we'll move on. That's easy for, everyone to say, unless it's your family on there, that everyone died in the worst possible way.
Okay, we got a break, but this guy in this Vox story asks a pretty good question about all this coverage, and we'll get to that next. Here's Buck. What are you going to do? Pee on me? Like, I don't know.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with this SportsCenter update. First on the Fan, the first of 2 NBA playoff play-in games in the books. The Heat 112-91 winners over the Chicago Bulls They'll be without Jimmy Butler for the next couple weeks, but they do earn a matchup with the 1-seeded Boston Celtics. Meanwhile, the game that's just about to tip off between the Pelicans and the Sacramento Kings will not have Zion Williamson. He's out with a hamstring injury. The Pelicans still favored by 1 point on their home floor. On the college hardwood, former Oregon Duck Kario Okendo has a new school. He's committed to the SMU Mustangs. And on Diamond, first game of the Mariners-Rockies series has been postponed due to inclement weather. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The inside story on the Blazers, Ducks, and Beavers. Danny and Dusty. Weekdays noon to 3 on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's me. I'm back for Window Nation. Got to tell you about this deal going on right meow where you can get 2
talking about just the space shuttle where we set it up 135 times and 2 of them didn't come back. And then you can go back into the original ones with the Apollos and then the test rockets, and some of those didn't necessarily work out. And then get into the other space agencies. But basically, the number is about 1 out of every 20 times that we launch, or anyone on Earth launches someone into space. That doesn't go well.
Yeah.
Think about the balls that you have to have when you strap yourself into a rocket, especially like in 1967, let alone now, where, again, it still happens. They're saying now NASA puts the odds at about 1 in 100. Other people say like 1 in 60. Either way, if I told you you're getting into something sitting on 1 million pounds of fuel, and I told you that number was 1 in 20, 1 in 60, or 1 in 100, whichever one you want to believe, are you doing that?
Well, I'm not.
It's the most insane thing ever.
But Krista McAuliffe will.
You imagine getting on an airplane and they're like, hey,
well,
just so you know, I'll give you the better one. 1 in 100 chance this thing goes down.
No. But those people, that they're cut from a different cloth. Like they really want to do that. That's their passion.
Yeah.
It's space.
I'm glad there's people out there like that, because that's a certain kind of...
Yeah. It's true.
I don't know. I don't even know what you call it. It's just a certain kind of person that I can't fully process.
Space Force.
Like, I'm willing to do that if, like, again, it like saves people or something, but you're just... It's like, hey, do you want to go to space? Sure. You want to go up? There's a 1 in 60 chance that you burn up a fiery death? No. No.
Well, Jason, this is why you and I are not greatness.
No.
We're far too...
We're sensible, reasonable?
Yeah, just normal.
Enjoy life?
Yeah.
The crazy thing is some of them probably think it's a privilege to go up there and have the chance to die like that.
Well, they do.
Like,
Guaranteed.
that's the mindset, I think.
Yeah.
It doesn't think like, oh, this is a risk. It's like, this is an opportunity.
I'm 1 of 8. Who's going to die?
I guess, does that make it feel better that you've got other people there with you? And as you're sitting there on that rocket, and you're however many feet up in the air, and you're in that tiny little capsule, do you turn to the person next to you and they're like, is there an acknowledgement or are you just
of that you're dying? You mean?
Well, at least that there's like a, hey, if we go, we all go together. Or are you in your own? Buck, we need to get an astronaut on the program. I gotta have answers to the questions.
Sure.
Call up the great Steve Hawley.
Yeah,
from Salina, Kansas.
I'm probably going to ask him that question, and he's going to call me a big coward and like a P word, and then,
Yeah, well,
if you're a local astronaut, go ahead and hit us up on the text line.
Yeah, local astronauts call into the show.
All
you astronauts listening out there.
Hey, they could be down at, like, Cape Canaveral listening on the Odyssey app. We don't know.
Well, I listened to a book on the history of the race to the moon, right? Between us and the Soviet Union. And the at least we acknowledged that we fried people. The Soviet space program didn't want to admit any sort of failure, right? So they were blowing people up left and right. And there's a photo, you can look it up. There's a photo of all of these guys that were part of the original Russian space program, right? Because they were ahead of us. And then that's where we were like, oh crap, we got to get our stuff going. The Russians were ahead of us. And there's this big photo of all the people, and as they died, they just they doctored the photo. They just erased them from existence. They didn't acknowledge that they died. And their families are like, well, he did live, and the Russian government was like, we've never heard of this guy. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, we have the photo. And they're like, no, he wasn't in that photo. They're like, look at this photo. And there was just empty spaces in the photo where there were clearly people, and then they were gone.
No. That one's the one that's doctored. That's what they'll tell you.
Yeah, that's how the Russians roll, though.
Yeah.
But over here, we
vehement denial.
We make them heroes.
Yes. Right?
For example, like this person says, these people advance humanity. And there is an element of truth to that.
Yeah.
And that's why they want to do it. Like, there's an importance there.
Is it, or is it just something where you just... are you doing it for advancing humanity, or are you doing it for your own ego where you're like, hell yeah. Big Balls McGee's going to the moon? Like,
It's probably a little bit of both.
I wonder, because I hear that like with the like military guys, right? They're like, well, they're doing it to protect our freedom. Yes, but have you ever met like a special forces guy? Guess what he really likes? He likes being one of the baddest dudes on the planet. Yes, the freedom.
Well, I would too.
Yes, the freedom and all that, and he's doing it for all of us. He's also doing it for himself and his buddies because he freaking loves that.
Locked, cocked, ready to rock.
Exactly.
I mean, that goes back to the old thing of like, if you're doing good for humanity, does it really matter why you're doing it? I mean, who cares? If it's self-serving, whatever.
Yeah.
But Kristen McAuliffe died for you.
Well, it might alter your feeling about how noble it is if it's just for you versus whether it's for humanity.
All right, that's fair, but
I don't want to die either.
Your feeling doesn't matter. What has happened is
you have advanced humanity, so good for you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, I'm glad someone's out there advancing humanity.
Meanwhile, your ankle's washing up on a beach somewhere.
Exactly.
But, it's for the good of the people.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, we got to go now. But this journalist who wrote this article about the numbers. So if you're just tuning in, things are not going wrong on planes at an unusual rate. Mm-hmm. We're actually at the same rate we always are. It's just that they're in the news more because of the door plug incident. And he asked the question, do journalists have some responsibility not to write about every little thing that goes wrong with a plane? And I actually think that's a great question.
That is a good question.
And I feel like, they kind of do.
Yes.
Because did you see the one today? There's one today at Delta.
Yeah, Delta had something happen.
Yeah, but it was, you read through it, it was, they were going from Savannah to Atlanta, and it was just just like a typical protocol thing where the flight attendants saw something and they said, we need to land this plane, but
it becomes headline news because if it bleeds, it leads. And now, I think that's a really good point. Are we just piling on?
Yeah. And as a journalist, do you write it or do you?
Well, and isn't that the whole thing with Twitter and news organizations and like what's going to get the clicks? Plain stuff does right now. So when they're chasing profits, how much of it is news we need to know versus this moves our bottom line?
And I think that's why he, as a journalist, is asking this question. It's like.
That question right there in journalism needs to be asked way more than it is.
About everything.
About everything.
Yeah. Fake news. Jeez. All right, got to go. 6:52. We'll wrap it up next on The Fan.
Another Blazer season in the